And hello, my sweet, beautiful people. How the heck are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I hope my microphone sorts itself out. There we go. That's better. But yeah, I hope everybody's good. I hope so. I hope so. Oh, goodness. Why is this mic not cooperating right now? That's a bit better. There we go. Hello, everybody. Big shout-outs to Zombie on the 17 months. I'm a computer. Yeah, Serg, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah. It should be better now. Whenever I start up a stream, it always seems to be, like, inconsistent on the mic levels. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Shout out to Buck as well, the king of the lawnmower. Never forget. Thank you for the 53 months. And Jake as well on the unbelievable 70 months. Jake, thank you as well. I hope you've been good, dude. Oh, Frankie, there's a lot to talk about from the sports world, that's for sure. That is for sure. And rest assured, I will be talking about it. That's going to be a big part of tonight. Big part. Jake, I've been good. I've been good. It's been busy, but I've been good. Celtics are more. Yeah, oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm holding my thoughts. I'm holding my thoughts for the moment. All right. We certainly have a lot to talk about, don't we? We certainly do. Good Lord, don't we have a lot to talk about from the sports world today. Holy balls. Holy balls, holy balls. Whew. Sports are going to be a big part of this primarily sports-based channel. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Steve, what's up, dude? What's up, what's up? Oh, goodness. Goodness. All right. As far as I know, we were still having to just fix up the AHL really quickly. And then I was where I wanted to be. Stop. We're not making Tabobto a thing, are we? Does Tabobto have to be a thing? Oh, I know. Sarah gets the last night, though. One way or another, it is the final night. So, we're almost there. We are almost there. Thank God. Because I, too, am ready for the torture to end. Celtics and Lakers are such great rivals, they torpedoed together. Jake, we have lost 4 Stanley Cup finals in the past 7 years. Hulk, I think it drops at noon tomorrow, was my understanding. So, and I am not one who was blessed with an early code or anything like that, so. We shall be waiting. We shall. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I could be mad and just be like, really? Like, I helped carry that directory, and it's true, but it's like, no, I mean, if I gotta do more to prove, like, hey, college football, we're important over here, then fuck it, we'll prove it this year, too. Patriot, college football drops soon. Soon. Elsewhere, what's going on? I think the Coyotes are doing great. Oh, God. I'm gonna go with Bubba. What's happening? The Corey Perry Cup streak. Yeah, that's one way to put it. That is one way to put it. Oh, man. But who knows? Maybe our time's coming. It better be, because we're running out of time. We are running out of time. Chris Patrick just lost all credibility with Desharnais and Jenner. Did I watch Dynamite? I actually didn't. I didn't get a chance to. Instead, the wife and I were watching TV. We took the dog for a walk, and I made banana bread like a good house husband. It's fucking delicious, by the way. Your boy can bake. Your boy can bake. Who's the worst GM, Brad Stevens or Don Sweeney? Oh, God. Does it have to be a competition? Can I just say both? Can I just say both, please? Because, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Can I just say both? Because neither had a banner day. Made banana bread, but no. No, Frank, it wasn't even that. Legitimately, I could go grab the banana bread. Actually, no, I don't even have to. I took a picture of it. I will prove this. This is not a subtle way of saying I had sex with my wife, which I may or may not have. Banana bread. Look at that banana bread. Fucking delicious. Your boy can bake. So, big boy, I did hear that they're gonna do, like, MJF and Omega tomorrow, which is kind of nuts. But it's also not the first time they've been like, fuck it, pay-per-view quality show, let's go. So, definitely not the first time. What about Breslow and Sweeney? Look, man. Okay, that does look good. It is good. It's fucking chocolate chip banana bread, man. It's fucking delicious. Boston sports, no one will have any sympathy whatsoever. But holy hell, those leading the charge right now, not doing well. Not doing well. I'm 26 years old. I don't think I've ever cried harder than seeing Freddie Anderson signing in Edmonton. For good reasons or bad reasons? I would imagine for good reasons. So, it sounds so sweet, but I respect it. I mean, a little bit. The key is to not go overboard with the chocolate chips, though. You know? Like, you want to let the banana carry the sweetness a little bit, but, you know. Hulk, that's true. Sweeney chucked Corpy out the door. Ignore the next Rangers trade. Yeah. Like I said, we're going to talk about everything here. I just wanted to make sure this was fixed up and ready to go for whenever we start a sim tonight. I'm not a sweets guy. That's fair. That's fair. Let's go right-wing grinder for this guy. But they got Drake May. Oh, I'm not saying they're hurting, like, but my God. The Red Sox are in turmoil. The Bruins made inconsistent moves. The Celtics decided, yeah, fuck this winning thing. We don't need to do that. So, I mean, it's been an interesting time. It has been an interesting time. They laugh at our tears. I mean, I don't blame them either. The Celtics exist. That they do. Still wrapping my head around the moves that John Chaika made today, or Chaika. Leafs had one of the more interesting days today. I don't know if it was the most interesting, but it was certainly very, very far up there. You know? Wheels, that's fair. Also, what happened to the price for Trocheck? Nobody must have wanted to pay the deal there. I need someone to explain what San Jose is doing. Okay. Well, I do have this set up the way that I wanted to. So. Oh, let's see. Have we stalled enough? I think that we have. Have we Jordan stalled enough? We don't want to Mark Stahl or Eric Stahl. Those guys are nerds. I mean, granted, Jordan Stahl is probably the same. I think we've stalled enough, though. So, without further ado, or as I heard it said once, without further dudes, I want to talk about all of the crazy, ridiculous nonsense that happened in the sports world on July 1st, 2026. Happy Canada Day. And, you know, I don't even know where to start with this, to be honest, because there was so much. There was so much. And not just from the NHL perspective, which is the majority of what I'm obviously going to talk about here, right? but a lot more as well. Bruins first? I don't know if we'll go Bruins first. Maybe we will. I mean, trust me, I got my thoughts on the Bruins as well. All right, there we go. First things first. Just want to talk about the World Cup really quickly, and then I'll be over with that. Shout out to Paraguay from the other day. That was ridiculous. Belgium, Senegal today was stupid as hell. Senegal choked so badly. The U.S., despite going down to 10 men, looked really good. I'm really mad because this is the least patriotic I've ever been in my life. Shoot me, I don't care. If you're an American, you might shoot me. I can say as an American. This is the best the U.S. men's national team has ever fucking looked. Like, even dispatching like 2012 or 2010 South Africa. And it's very frustrating because they have a very, very good chance of beating Belgium. I don't know if they'll beat whoever comes out of the other side of the bracket. We'll see. And I said on the secondary channel, I put out a video about the World Cup that Congo could shock England. They almost did it. Mexico, England is going to be a movie, as they say. And then there was this, and I don't even want to talk about this, but people keep asking me about this. This is one of the dumbest trades in the history of sports. Not just basketball, this is legitimately one of the dumbest trades in the history of sports. That is my summary of it. This honestly might be worse than the Luka Doncic trade. I mean, that's probably Celtics bias and recency bias. Oh my God. Only 2 first-round picks, 2 second, and old man Paul George. Yeah. I'm done talking about that. I'm done. But then there's all the NHL free agency stuff and the trade stuff. Why'd the Celtics do that? I don't know. Jaylen Brown's like, hey, why'd they do that? On Twitch, which is nuts. You like the average American hating on the red card, or are you the reasonable voice in the chat? It was a red card. Like, I don't care. They won anyway. Like, yeah, I don't really have too much of a thought. Fox, typically when it comes down to officiating, I don't care. I don't care one way or another because the standard for officiating across all sports is typically inconsistent and garbage. So, odds are the defense is, oh, well, what about this other play that wasn't this? And you're right, but also there's that, right? So, there you go. I figured it would be best to go through day one of free agency, just kind of going team by team. It might take a while, but I figured that's the best way to do it because there are quite a few moves where you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And like the Ducks, for example, right? Like they moved John Carlson's rights. They swapped Radko Gudas with AJ Greer and then signed AJ Greer for a whole bunch of money. And in terms of their signings on day one, I mean, Nick Jensen and Laurent Brossoit are kind of the big names. You could argue that the Ducks don't really need to do that much from here. And then obviously AJ getting big money. 4 years, 4.25 per year. This was one of those deals the other day where people are like, oh man, that's a lot of money. I think the summary of July 1st for NHL free agency is, oh, that's what bottom 6 guys can get paid now. And as, AJ's been, he's hung out in this stream before, like, nice dude. I'm happy he got paid. But, it's like you look at the Ducks right now and what that roster is shaping up to be. It's never too late to quit tobacco. It's not bad, but if I look at that roster, am I like, oh, the Ducks are definitely a playoff team next year? Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I look at that roster and maybe it's just lacking some name value, with respect to Tyson Hines and Sam Colangelo, and I guess Troy Terry's hurt too, so you'd factor him in there. But, no major splashes for the Ducks despite water. Day one. Then there's the team a lot of people have already asked me about. The Boston Bruins. First move, of course, was the Ivan deal and also getting J.J. Peterka. I talked about that in previous videos that are up on the channel that you can check out. Their moves today. Bringing back Connor Clifton after he left for Buffalo 2 years, 2.25. Okay. Jordan Harris for cheaper than what the qualifying offer would have been. Yuri Patera, Maxence Gwinnett, Brendan Gaunce, and Brian Hallinan. The signings weren't the big talk of the day for the Bruins. The big talk of the day for the Bruins were the 2 separate deals with the New York Rangers. They did manage to move on from Jonas Korpisalo, who's got 2 years left on his deal at $4 million, overpaid, the right thing to move on. They get a 4th-round pick, Kalle Vasanen, which, sure, whatever, right? Like, Kalle Vasanen, former 4th-round pick. We'll see, right? The thing is, like, the Bruins got somebody to take the contract of Jonas Korpisalo. Cool. The problem is, it just feels like these 2 different deals should have been the one deal, because then the Bruins gave up a 2nd and a conditional 3rd for Will Borgen, who is on year 2 of a 5-year deal at $4.1 million. Look, man, I think Will Borgen can probably be okay. Maybe. Possibly. But it's pricey. It is pricey. Again, you know how I just talked about a lot of, like, sticker shock for people, right? It's a pricey deal for Will Borgen. That's pretty much all you can say. I'm trying to find a little bit of info that I had seen previously, but it's like, in terms of here we go. Like, as the J Fresh like info sums it up, Will Borgen is a defensive defenseman. Again, these charts aren't everything, right? But it doesn't paint the prettiest of pictures, you know? Final, I'm intrigued, but I didn't get to see the full show tonight, so I don't know, man. I don't know, maybe Borgen will be better in Boston, but like any value that Sweeney brought in to be like, oh, we got rid of Korpisalo, you pretty much immediately lost it by bringing in Will Borgen. Like, that was the whole point of clearing out the cap space. So I just don't know. And like, Korpisalo's numbers aren't that great either. So it's not like it's this crazy move one way or another. But, it's like if you look at the Bruins right now and their overall depth chart, I think the biggest talking point of today for the Bruins is just, should they have kept Victor Arvidsson for what he signed for instead of going after J.J. Peterka? But as expected, they didn't do much offensively. But they freed up room for Mikey DiPietro, but then they bring in Will Borgen. And, like, what are you going to have? $2.25 million of Connor Clifton as your 7th defender? Are they going to find a trade for Yoki Haru? I don't hate the roster. I think they can be a playoff team again, but it's one of those, like, man, they have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove, unfortunately. So, for the Ducks, thumbs in the middle. For the Bruins, it's a pessimistic thumb in the middle, because, like, you did a good, but then you did a bad. And that's just kind of how the Don Sweeney tenure goes, is you do something good and then you do something bad. Buffalo re-signed Beck Malenstein for almost $3 million, 6 years per. They did give up a 2nd-round pick for the guy, so that's quite a bit. Olin Zellweger they just acquired, basically 3x3. And then Gilbert, Connor Sherry's still hanging around? Like, all right, free agency-wise, not bad. And then trade-wise, this was the interesting one for them. They moved on from Devin Levi, along with a 7th-round pick, sending that out to Edmonton for a 3rd-rounder. So, Devin Levi is kind of that next goalie that you look at to be like, okay, like, what is he going to be? Who is he going to be? And we don't really know yet, right? We don't really know yet. And here, let me see what I can do really quickly here. Goalies obviously develop later. So it's one of those like, okay, we'll see. You know, we'll see what they're able to do, what they're capable of doing moving forward, that type of thing. Here we go. We should be good now. But, you know, if you look at the Buffalo depth chart, like, I still really like Buffalo's team. I do. Like, I have a lot of faith and confidence in their young players. I know some people are like, oh, Zach Benson, only 40 points. You guys know, right? Like, I referred to, like, the JFresh information, stuff like that. You guys know I've had, like, the analytical mind for a while, and I put stock into that. Zach Benson's a fucking gamer, dude. The comparison's been made, and I agree with it. Brad Marchand. I think the Sabres have their own little ball of hate. I really, really like Zach Benson. So I don't hate that deal at all. And exactly, he's only 21. Sabres are looking good. Like, obviously, in some ways, you're going to miss Bowen Byram. We'll get to him. But I still really like what the Sabres have cooked up here and what they look like. Even if there's been no major free agent splashes. And the only big trade, you know, in the past couple days, obviously, the Zellweger thing. But, you know, today being Devin Levi. So the Sabres, like, as far as the first goes, I think it's still got to be a thumbs up in an overall sense for the Buffalo Sabres right now. Then there is Calgary, who have done, with respect to these players, nothing on the free agent market so far. Jake Livingstone, Andreas Englund, Ben Jones, Michael Benning, and William Stromgren. Okay. And then in terms of trades, they didn't do anything aside from that. So, like, you know, hate to say it, but for Calgary, like, man, you still got $20 million in space. Like, you're above the floor, but I'm intrigued to see if they do make one more big move. Like, there's still some big name for this class free agents out there. They haven't done much, and certainly you don't look at that roster as like, oh yeah, playoff team. You could argue their big move was already made with Nemec and Siplikov, which, sure. I don't really know what to make of their roster, though. And I've seen other people talk about it. I do totally agree with it. You're going to have certain teams that are just like, cool, we have cap space. We're not going to spend to the cap, though. Why would we do that? And I think Calgary could very well be one of those teams. So for July 1st, but based off what they did in the draft, like, you know, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, that type of spot for Calgary right now, there's not really too much to talk about, really. Very, very minimal moves. Kakalaki have done nothing. Obviously, we'll talk about Freddie Anderson, but Freddie Anderson has left. But yeah, they've done nothing. They had a trade yesterday, Noah Philp for Kyle Masters, right? Like, they acquired John Carlson's signing rights and did not get him. So, you know, in terms of, like, what they've done in the past couple days, But at the same time, you talk about their roster and what they kind of needed to look to do. You know, RFAs, like, what are they going to do with Nikishin? The end of the day, as most people know, right? Like, they've kept that cup-winning lineup together. So, traded Kyle Masters and got him back. Correct. So, you know, for Carolina, you can look at it and be like, they didn't really do anything. At the same time, did they need to do much? They didn't buy out Kotkaniemi. Nikishin, again, still an RFA. Like, Bussy and Kochetkov will be the goalies next year. Like, Carolina's still going to be dangerous, but it's a little bit interesting, right? To see, like, oh, okay, are they going to do anything with that remaining money or not? So I don't really know if I feel right giving it like a thumbs up, thumbs in the middle. Carolina kind of feels like an incomplete grade for the first, the first day of free agency and wherever they might go from here. Chicago. Dylan Boucher, Connor McLymok, Connor Mackey. Shout out to Trent for 205 in a row. They signed Ian Cole for a 1-year, $4 million deal. 3x3 for Cole Smith. And then there's the Bowen Byram signing. Look, we talked about this the other day when the trade went down, that Bowen Byram had them by the balls because they acquired him with 1 year left on his deal, pending UFA. You got to pay him what he wants or he is going to walk. His agent is Darren Ferris, which, very infamous agent, Mitch Marner, his agent, That's the problem with Chicago is, okay, ambition by getting Byram, but you didn't have pen put to paper on an extension until you already acquired him. No bueno. No bueno. So you had to pay out the ass to get him. And speaking of paying out the ass, it's Deeds with 5 gifted subs. Outstanding. Thank you, Deeds. My goodness. My goodness. Just wanted to be number 1 on the board. Well, you are indeed number 1 in the month of July. Outstanding. Thank you very much, good sir. I do appreciate it. Oh, Byram or Lane Hudson? You got to go with the Hudson deal being better. And shout out to Caden as well. 32 months. Caden, welcome back. Thank you very much. We are doing good. We're doing good. I've been starting these streams slightly later over the past couple nights because I told the wife, like, when college football's dropping, I got to stream that like a son of a bitch. So we've been getting that time, and now she's on summer break. So Byram's making more than McCarr and Faber. For now. For now. All right, so from the Chicago perspective, Deeds, thank you again. Obviously, the trades aren't crazy. They're big moves. Ian Cole, Bowen Byram. They have 3 first-round picks in 2027. One of them's conditional. They have $29 million in cap space. They do have Connor Bedard to sign, Del Mastro, Korchinski. So, I mean, we'll see. Like, the problem is you look at that lineup, that's not a competitive lineup. Even if you spend the extra money, it's probably not a competitive lineup. Maybe they'll surprise, like maybe Kanserov and Frondel will really step up. It's a really good, like, young, in terms of, like, young players and talent there. It's not bad, but again, like, a move like Bowen Byram screams ambition. But I don't know if the rest of the roster construction really screams that. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what they do, if they do anything else, or if they say, well, we're cap compliant, we're above the floor, let's just rely on these younger guys to develop and see what happens. At the same time, you've already put Connor Bedard through 3 seasons of misery. How many more seasons of misery does he want to go through? So for Chicago, it has to be a thumbs down for now because of Bowen Byram. Even if he works out, it is an unbelievable overpay on the day. Maybe, I mean, he's 25. Maybe he don't, or 24 turning, well, that's how age works. But you get the point, right? Like, it's just so much money. It is so much fucking money. So, I mean, if it's not like this, like, rock bottom viewpoint of Chicago right now, it's pretty damn close, right? It's almost like they should have drafted Demidov. Almost. The Colorado Avalanche. Colorado. Having brought back Brent Burns for dirt cheap. Having given Brett Kulak a bunch of money, which is interesting. Taylor McCarr. And then today, Adam Beckman, Dominic Vinsore, Vinny Hinostroza, Noah Juleson, And Jaden Schwartz for 3.25. Okay. And then the last deal that they got was Fabian Lysell. I mean, obviously, like, Colorado, they're still good. They have no cap space left, which is nuts. With fucking Bardakov still to sign. But, you know, you look at that roster, it's still a great roster. They made a ton of moves with Nashville. Like, I still think it's a thumbs in the middle, if not a thumbs up for Colorado with what they've done in this window. Like, they're still going to be very competitive. I guess the question was, like, a lot of people thought they might have been trying to clear up cap space to make a bigger move. And the big move ended up being Jaden Schwartz. So we'll kind of see what he's able to do, right? So I'd say thumbs in the middle for Colorado, right? Nothing too crazy, nothing really too bad either. I mean, that's where most teams are going to reside, right? Like, not too many teams are taking clear L's or getting clear wins. Columbus. Please sort. Thank you. I don't know what the Blue Jackets are doing, man. Owen Sillinger, Riley Bizot, Phoenix Copley, Ryan Lamborghini. And in terms of trades, you know, moves at the draft, obviously the big thing was what is going to happen with Werenski, who rejects a deal to Dallas, and then you get that very bizarre statement put out that misspelled Werenski that people were dumping on. Yeah, the statement from Don Waddell. Earlier this spring, Zach and I met to talk about his future and with the possibility of moving on. During the discussions, the opportunity past 2 seasons, we're going to stay the course. Or are we, brother? Like, I feel so bad for Blue Jackets fans, man. Like, I mean, dude, that team's $4 million over the floor. They have $23 million in cap space. Sillinger, Fantilli to sign, Danton Heinen, Goodbranson, and Smith as UFAs, but they just still feel like they are Seattle East. They're Seattle East. They have the best player, right? Like, they have the best player. Oh, okay, that's fair. And then they did put out that tweet. Good on admin for that, at least. That's funny. You're right, I did miss that. Shout out to the Marty Turco for 13 months on the primer. You know, they have a better player in Zach Werenski than anybody Seattle has, but just in terms of the way they conduct themselves and construct a roster, you know, like they picked up Valeri Nichushkin, who, yeah, is good. He'll help you. But let's be honest, if this team makes the playoffs next year, it's a surprise. Their chances, not to go full Scott Steiner, their chances do drastically go up if they keep Zach Werenski. But, man, when you have your star player and it's kind of like, you know, ping-ponging back and forth between he's staying, he's leaving, he's staying, he's leaving, that typically doesn't end well in, like, any sport. So, I mean, I guess it's thumbs in the middle because they haven't traded Werenski yet, right? So, the Dabless Stars, as they're known around here. Arturu Brandon Halverson, former Maine Mariner. Artem Shalane and totally Spanish Joel Kiviranta. Hell yeah. Another long-time channel meme. No major moves for Dallas. Obviously, they tried to get Werenski. They did make a trade today, though, which is interesting. Getting a second and a third for Maverick Bourque and Ilya Lyubushkin. That, to me, feels like you're paying the tax of moving Lyubushkin's $3.25 million contract is by having to give up Maverick Bourque in the process, which, again, like, man, they got $10.7 million. Jason Robertson's obviously the big RFA, and we still don't really know what's going to happen with him. At the end of the day, though, Dallas is still a really, really good team. Now, if you take Jason Robertson out of that lineup, okay, like, we'll see. So I feel like Dallas has to be thumbs in the middle for right now, just because they're, like, and yeah, Sergachev, to your point in chat, Who isn't tired of this? Wow, that zoom in was intense. Who isn't tired of hearing about Jason Robertson at this point? Even if you're not a Stars fan, it's like, oh my God, just let something happen already. So we'll see what happens with Dallas, but I don't know. It's going to be really, really weird and very Columbus if it's like, oh, never mind. He's staying after all. Reminds me of the Chikrin trade rumors forever. Yeah, honestly. It's like, just let something happen, please. Speaking of let something happen, the Detroit Red Wings. Carter Mazur was signed. They brought in Victor Arvidsson, 2 years, $5 million. I like Victor Arvidsson on the Bruins a lot. A lot of Bruins fans did. A lot of people are kind of disappointed that he ended up in Detroit and didn't stay in Boston for that price. And I can't necessarily disagree. They also signed Danil Tarasov, Jacob Bryson, and one of the best names in the league in Wilmer Skoog. And then in terms of trades, they also picked up Keegan Colasar for a 3rd and a 7th. Okay. It's a bit of a weird one, but okay. You have almost $19 million worth of cap space. UFAs to sign. Edvinsson is the only RFA, right? Like, okay. And then you look at the roster right now. Much like Werenski, much like Jason Robertson, like, okay, Dylan Larkin, is he staying? Is he going? Can we please get that sorted out? I'm tired of hearing about it. So hopefully that happens. But, you know, like, is that roster good enough to make the playoffs? It's not impossible. Am I going to bet on this roster to 100% be a playoff team next year? Absolutely not. Especially if they trade Larkin. Like, if you trade Larkin, the odds are it's for futures, and you're probably not getting as good of a player back. Then again, Larkin also couldn't score in the year 2026. So, for Detroit, I mean, it's thumbs in the middle at best. If you wanted to say thumbs down, I get it. I get it, right? I mean, you're still looking at a team where you're relying on Ben Sherratt and Justin Falk as your prospective second D pair. I don't know. I don't know what to make of Detroit. And the Yzerman questions will continue to persist. Just in terms of like, okay, what are they going to be? Who are they going to be? What is that team's identity at this stage? And I don't have a good answer to that. I really don't. The Edmonton Oilers had a good day? I feel like that might be the highlight of day one of free agency, is that the Edmonton Oilers had a good day. They get Ryan Shea, which a lot of people are going to be like, who the fuck is Ryan Shea? Which is totally fair. Penguin last year, very similar to Parker Wotherspoon, except, and by the way, rough couple days for Pittsburgh. Losing Wotherspoon and now losing Ryan Shea. Because again, you look at Ryan Shea, again, these are not the end-all be-all, right? Not at all. I'll never say it is. But Ryan Shea had a fucking great year for Pittsburgh last year. I am very intrigued by this guy. Now, Pittsburgh and Edmonton, some pretty big differences, but he is a very interesting player to watch out for moving forward for the Oilers. They also signed Edwards Traumax, who I think was a Bruins draft pick. Kasperi Kapanen stuck around. They got Matthew Joseph for cheap. Max Jones came back. And then the big one, Freddie Anderson, 1 year, $1 million. Like, look, and yes, there are incentives in this contract. He's not the only one. We'll talk about Matt Zuccarello later. But in terms of the cap hit, man, like, Freddie Anderson had a really, really good season until injuries added up, or at least they had a really, really good postseason. And he's 36, but if you're an Oilers fan, you got to feel optimistic about that because he probably could have commanded more. But clearly going to Edmonton is a sign of like, oh, Edmonton might have something here if he's going for that cheap. And they might have something because the big trade of the day, arguably, was not the Devin Levi, obviously. Darnell Nurse is a San Jose Shark for Shakir Mukhamadullin and Zach Sharp. That's it. I have critiqued and criticized the Oilers front office, and rightfully so. I think every Oilers fan would agree. Hasn't exactly been a banner time under Bowman. But this is a phenomenal trade for the Edmonton Oilers. No cap retention, getting rid of the entirety of the $9.25 million per deal for Darnell Nurse. We'll talk about what it means for the Sharks when I get to the Sharks. But for the Oilers, this was a great day for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know how anybody could feel differently. It's not even one thumbs up. This is 2 thumbs up. Ryan Shea is very promising. Getting Freddie Anderson in goal. You still have some cap space left with like Colton Dach to sign, Stastny, Mukhamadullin. Like, they don't have much to really do at that point. Now, I do still have some concerns about the construction of the roster because they have continued to struggle while paying their star players as much as they're paying to round out the rest of the lineup. They've taken a shot on Trent Frederick. That has been a disaster so far. The defense, though, like that top 4, pretty fucking good. And then thankfully for them, Freddie Anderson signs for dirt cheap. Again, for the Oilers, like, this is why it's a big thumbs up, because it's like, wait a minute. This is the same front office that thought trading for Tristan Jarry with that contract was a good idea? Are you, like, you're telling me they didn't make a front office change? So it's got to be a thumbs up for that reason alone. Like, I don't know what to make of the Oilers and just their inconsistencies, but today was a very, very good day for the Oilers. We'll see if they immediately manage to fuck it up. They're pretty good at that. They're pretty good at doing something good and then immediately shooting themselves in the foot. The Florida Panthers. They're still so good. But also, as much as I've praised Bill Zito, brother, we're going to have a lockout because of you. Eetu Luostarinen, 8 years, $5 million. That's such a good deal. Radko Gudas at 36 years old, 6 years, $1.5 million. We are going to have a lockout because of Bill Zito and the Florida Panthers, and it's because of these long contracts with minimal money attached to the term. It's not the first time they've done it. It won't be the last. There's going to be a fucking lockout because, people are going to be real mad at Bill Zito doing this, which is not his fault. Bill Zito's just smarter than essentially every other GM in the league. He is phenomenal. And then they also pick up guys like Lafferty, Eller, Casey Fitzgerald, Bjornfoot, Amama, John Beecher. And then obviously in terms of trades, the big deal was yesterday, banking on Jake Markstrom, also getting Angus Crookshank, still a great name, for Evan Rodriguez, Jesper Boqvist, and Ben Steeves. And then had also acquired Akira Schmid the other day as well. So the Florida Panthers, $400,000 in cap space. Look, man, I know how some people feel about the Panthers, and shout out to Coco for the raid. My good sir, it is great to see you back in streaming. We are going through the events of the day in terms of NHL free agency. I also talked about the Boston Celtics ruining my life, but we can talk about that again later. When talking about the Florida Panthers, right, there's nothing left for them to do aside from sign Akira Schmid. They are still very much the cup contender, right? Obviously, their big move was getting Brady Tkachuk last week. The team is still ridiculous. It's a thumbs up for the Panthers. I mean, like, the biggest thing is, did they make the right choice and banking on Jake Markstrom? Time will tell. But as far as the rest of the team is concerned, where are the concerns, right? There's no concerns about the rest of the team. Very happy with the Rangers. I haven't gotten to them yet. We are going alphabetically. I think the Rangers have done some good things today, too, shockingly. But again, Coco, it is great to see you back in streaming. For anybody coming over, we do talk wrestling a lot, but right now we're hockey nerding. But yeah, Florida Panthers, I mean, if you want to say thumbs in the middle, like, sure. I'm drifting towards thumbs up by getting, like, Brady Tkachuk. I get the Markstrom thing is concerning, but dude, I can't doubt Bill Zito and the Florida Panthers. I'm sorry. 3 Stanley Cup finals in the past 4 years, and they've won 2 of them. I don't know what that's like in NHL 19. So, yeah, good times for the Panthers at the very least. The Los Angeles Kings are so goddamn old. That's my big takeaway from the Kings. Around the draft, they did re-sign Brant Clark to what is a really nice deal. Today, they signed Eric Holla, 2 years, $3.6 million. Okay. Corey Perry's back at age 41, 1 year, $1 million. Scott Perunovich, Lane Peterson, Janik, Eric Gustafson at 34. Scott Lawton got 3 years, $3.5 million. And then 38-year-old Matt Zuccarello signed a deal, which is incentive-laden, but still, it counts for $1 million against the cap. And of course, in terms of trades, nothing too crazy there. So you look at the Kings, under $2 million worth of cap space, no other signings to make, and you get a look at that depth chart. This team is so old. 34 for Panarin, 38 for Zuccarello, 41 for Perry. I don't know if I can look at that team and say playoff roster. Sorry, Crashy. I don't know if I can. Drew Doughty at 36, Edmondson at 33, Dumoulin at 34, Kemper at 36. Again, like, sometimes I can look at a roster and be like, dude, there's no way. There's no way they're making the playoffs. I could see a reality where the Kings make it, but do I, like, in terms of ambition, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't absolutely hate the roster, but at the same time, when you're paying Cody Ceci $4.5 million to be on your third pair, it makes no sense that Zuccarello signed there. I don't disagree. I'm very surprised. Now, apparently, like, the Wild were ready to move on, but the fact that this was the team he chose is pretty interesting to me. I don't know what to make of this team. I'll leave it at that. I don't know what to make of that team. Like, I look at some of the elements of it, and I'm like, oh, okay. But that team as a unit, I just don't know what to make of them. So, and I can't even label them as an incomplete because they have no cap space. The Minnesota Wild. Bobby Brink ended up staying. 1 year, $2.75 million. That's kicking the can down the road for a bigger extension. That's, hey, prove that we should pay you this year. That's what that is. Justin Kirkland, Calvin Pickard, Zach Bogosian, Mason Shaw, Nick Foligno, Jagger Joshua, Dylan Gambrell. So nothing too crazy. And in terms of trades, nothing too crazy over the past couple of days either. So, with Minnesota, it's $3.5 million remaining. Only guy to sign really is Damon Hunt. You look at that roster, of course, they made the playoffs this past year. There's one glaring issue. It's the centers. It is the centers. Obviously, we know they've been in on Dylan Larkin from Detroit.
I'm just trying to
They
walk
need
through
that
this
number
fucking
one
grass.
center. And shout out to Scooch. At least I hope it's Scooch. That's a great name. Would have liked to have seen Kane come back to the Red Wings. Hey, maybe he still will, but... Is Jagger related to Dakota? Yes. Then you look at that defense, Hughes, Faber. Like, again, this is the last year of Quinn Hughes' deal. You know? Like, there's a lot they got to do. There's a lot they got to do and a lot that they have to hope goes right. But imagining that team winning a Stanley Cup with that center core, I don't know, man. I don't know. They kind of feel like slightly less North Edmonton. You know, I mean, obviously, you don't exactly have, you know, the Draisaitl to Kaprizov's McDavid or whatever the hell, but, like, I don't know. Playoff team, sure. Do I think they legitimately are going to like win the cup? I don't know. So, weird spot for Minnesota to be, too. By not doing anything, they're worse than last year by a lot. It's kind of how it goes, right? All right, I know a lot in chat have been waiting for this. The Montreal Canadiens, as we say hello to Pork Chop for the 6 months on the primer. Pork Chop, welcome back. Thank you very much. And thank you for helping me be able to delay praising Kent Hughes and the Habs for a few more seconds. Ethan Sampson, Sam Poulin, Capo Kakinen, Alex Belzile, whatever. Yeah, the big thing is Ivan Demidov. 8 years, $9.15 million. I said that Bill Zito was probably my choice for the top GM in the league. Kent Hughes is top 3, and I don't know if he's number 3. He has done such a great job with this Habs team. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, now look, yeah, they had to retain some salary to move out Brendan Gallagher. Okay, whatever. That's not a big deal for them. They did trade Josh Waugh. Gave up on him, brought in Maximilian Zuber. Okay. But all in all, you look at this team, they still have $14 million in cap space. You know, Line A still a UFA. They got to sign Doc, Berard, Bolduc. None of those guys will be too crazy. And an Arbor Jackeye, he won't be too expensive. They still have cap space. They made the playoff. They made the fucking conference finals this year. It is true. The one thing you look at with that roster is, oh, Jake Evans or Philip Deneau is the 2C? That's a bit scary. But, you know, they're not in the position that Minnesota's in where it's like, holy shit, we need to win right now so Quinn Hughes doesn't leave. The Habs are still so young. Their captain, Nick Suzuki, is 26 years old, man. They have built an amazing thing in Montreal. They really have. Lane Hudson, of course, is signed, and for so much less than a certain new Chicago defender. Dobesh and Fowler look like they're going to be good. If they're really that desperate for extra cap space, you could find a way to move out Montembeault, but I don't think they're worried about that. It's just, do they take a swing to get another top 6 center, and who would that be? And then defensively, you know, I'd probably agree, right? Like, okay, Struble as the second left defenseman, maybe. But man, he and Goulet are both still just 24. Like, you know, they could still be what the Habs need them to be. So yeah, Montreal, again, there hasn't really been a rivalry between the Habs and the Bruins for a decade now. So I can look at this objectively and just say they have done an amazing thing over the last couple of years. Between Kent Hughes as the GM, Marty St. Louis as the coach, they have a really, really good thing going right now. And the Atlantic Division is a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. For Nashville, traded and re-signed Jack Drury, 5 years, $4.5 million. Okay. Signed Alex Kerfoot today, 2 years, $3.5 million. Okay. Signed Jack Ashan, former Bruin. Okay. And Hunter Skinner. In terms of trades, they acquired Maverick Bourque and Lyubushkin for a second and a third. Nils Höglander for a third. Adam Edstrom as well, getting him from the Rangers. Remember when I said that, you know, Columbus was kind of the Seattle of the Eastern Conference? I mean, there might be 2 Seattles in the Western Conference, because Nashville might be the slightly less west, and by slightly, I mean a lot less west, Seattle. They do have $13 million in cap space. They got to sign Maverick Bourque. Got to sign Justin Barron. They shouldn't be too expensive. But you look at that roster, I don't hate it. It's a very franchise mode roster. It's obviously very old, with Stamkos and O'Reilly, it's improved from last year, I agree. But how much? Right? Like Drury, Colton, getting Kerfoot and Höglander. Like, a lot of recent acquisitions are now penciled in. The defense, I still don't hate. You know, someone could still say, like, okay, Nick Hague's overpaid, and how dare you? He's a sweet, beautiful boy. I don't hate that roster. This team is either old as fuck or young as fuck, and there's no between. So, I don't know what to make of Nashville yet. Playoff team in their current state, maybe. Contender, unlikely. I can't imagine them being awful, though. But maybe they will be. That's how competitive the league is right now, right? Parity reigns supreme, but, you know, thumbs in the middle. Like, the team is better. But if that's the baseline question, is the team better right now than what they were at the end of the year, at least on paper? Yes, they are better. What is that really saying, though? I don't know. I do not know. The New Jersey Devils re-signed Arseny Gritsuk. 3 years, 3.25. Okay. Sure. Gritsuk is neat. That's fun. Right? Yeah, I know nothing about Arseny Gritsuk, I gotta be honest. So I'm not even gonna be like, oh, let me look at a chart and form an opinion. I don't know. Devils fans, let me know. They re-signed Nico Hischier, 5 years, 11.7. That's good business. Vladislav Kalachinok's there. Nico Dawes, Riley Tufte, Mark McLaughlin, former Bruins, Xavier Perrant, and then hit the offer sheet for Barrett Hayton. This is the real interesting part of their offseason. Is like, okay, what's this going to be? It would be a second-round pick in terms of compensation, right? Okay, maybe a little bit much. The thing is, if, and this is the genius of new GM Sonny Mehta for the New Jersey Devils, if Utah matches this deal, they cannot trade Barrett Hayton for a calendar year. That's how that works. It's not like NHL franchise mode. Meaning, if they match this offer sheet, they have to deal with Barrett Hayton being a UFA at the end of next season. So it's either Utah matches and then potentially loses him for free, or you let him go for the second round pick. So Sonny Mehta, very smart move. Devils fans should be happy with him. He also had a very analytical heavy draft as well that people have been talking about. And then obviously, moved Markstrom, brings in Rodriguez. I think the Devils have had a pretty good couple of weeks since Sonny Mehta has been brought in. They still have a ton of caps, but well, not a ton, but 7.7 mil with no major players to sign. So, I mean, they're probably not done. It depends on what happens, I would say, with the Barrett Hayton offer sheet, right? And how much money they have left. But you look at that lineup, if they are healthier than what they were last year, right? Because that was their big issue. They could not stay healthy. If they're able to do so, that should still be a playoff roster next year. Very much so. I don't know if it'll be a championship contender because of the goaltending. I think Jake Allen's been pretty underrated and underappreciated in his career. Nico Dawes has been very hit or miss in his time with the Devils. It's another team where you have to wonder, like, okay, are they done? Is there another move to come aside from Barrett Hayton? Because if you sign Barrett Hayton, you're probably out for some other big name. I don't hate the team, though. And I do think they have a really promising GM at the helm. But, I think for Devils fans, like a year or two ago, it looked like you were really taking that big leap forward. And it might have been 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But I'd be surprised if Sonny Mehta turns out to be a bust of a GM and can't regain those steps. So, Thumbs in the middle, at least. Maybe a thumbs up for the Devils, somewhere around there, I would say. The New York Islander. The New York Islander. Re-signed Tony DeAngelo for 2 years, $4.5 million. Okay. Matias Michelli lands there because, of course, if you're a former Leaf, you got to head to the Islanders. Vitek Vanacek signed, Matthew Ketchel, Mitch Chaffee, or Chaffee, whatever, and Matt Luff. And then in terms of deals, nada. So, no major moves for the Islanders, and they lost their captain. Anders Lee signed in Utah today. So if you look at this team, at $4.2 million remaining, nobody left that they have to sign in terms of RFAs or anything like that. It's fine. It's fine. Right? Like, maybe they do something, maybe they don't. Like, they're another one of those teams on the bubble where it's like, could I see them making the playoffs? Yes. Could I see them missing the playoffs? Yes. But at the same time, you still have Ilya Sorokin, who I still have confidence in. You still have Matthew Schaefer, which I am, like, all in on the Matthew Schaefer stock. Like, it's one of the best stories in hockey, if not all of sports right now, is Matthew Schaefer and just his success and, like, the maturity that he has, but then also the on-ice play. Like, the Islanders have a gem, like a cornerstone defenseman. But they're another one of those bubble teams. You can look at the roster and be like, all right, okay. And then, like, okay, maybe, like, you know, maybe in a slightly better spot, maybe a more confidence-inspiring spot than a Nashville, but also the Eastern Conference is going to be a bloodbath. With, I mean, let's say, is it not unlikely that, like, 5 Atlantic teams could make the playoffs this upcoming year, you know? Yeah, Barzal's already 29, man. That Don Sweeney disaster class was a while ago now, thankfully. He's still the GM of the Bruins, by the way. So the Islanders, like, okay, but, like, no big needle-moving additions today, but you could argue they had a big subtraction with Anders Lee. The New York Rangers obviously had the big move for Pavel Dorofeev, which I know a lot of people are like, man, I don't know. Was the Radish contract bad? For the Leafs? No. I'll get to the Leafs a bit more in depth in a second. I love the Darren Radish deal for the Leafs. I love it. Might just be my take, but I think that, and it also helps like a month beforehand. I'm like, he's going to be a Leaf. So I'm like, yes, pat myself on the back there a little bit. But, you know, I do like that move a lot. For the Rangers today, Joe Veleno, 1 year, $1 million. Oliver Bjorkstrand, 1 year, $4.5 million. Mark Del Gaizo and Glenn Godin, or Godin. And in terms of trades, obviously, we already talked about William Borgen, but they also, and again, I feel like they did really well there, they also picked up Marcus Pettersson for a conditional 2030 first-round pick. They dealt... Okay, so this is what's weird. Selling. Get picks back. Cool. Buying for a first-round pick. Okay. Selling. Vinny Trocheck, but getting Sean Dursey, Cole Badan, and a third. I really like that return, by the way. I think that's a pretty good deal for the Rangers. Just saying. But then getting Jonas Korpisalo. So they buy, they sell, they buy, they sell. Like, what are you? Like, what is your team identity, Chris Drury? I don't quite understand. They have $6 million left in cap space. They do need to sign Braden Schneider and perhaps Vinny Iorio as well. But I just don't really... I don't know what to make of it. Like, I don't hate the idea of that top line. You know, Bjorkstrand's second liner, like, once upon a time, he was really good. Can he recapture that? Maybe. That bottom six, in terms of name value, is stanky. Like, with respect to Laba and Ty Cartier, Joe Valeno, I don't know about that bottom six, man. And then obviously the defense has changed quite a bit, now with Pettersson and Dursey being there. But, like, are they that much better subbing out? Like, okay, like, you lose Trocheck, you get Bjorkstrand, not exactly 1-to-1, but you get the point. You move on from like, the defense is better, right? Like, Pettersson and Dursey, that's an improvement. Korpisalo back up to Shesterkin, like, okay, I don't hate it. Like, they shouldn't be as bad this upcoming season as they were last year. But I just don't get, did they give up on Rempe? He's listed here as injured at the moment, but he's still there. I look at the signings, I look at the trades, and it's like, what are you trying to do? And in the end, they just come out to even. You buy, you sell, you buy, you sell. Okay, you're kind of where you are. Do I think the team is better? In some ways, yes, i.e. defensively. But I still just don't know what to make of the New York Rangers right now. Feels like a bubble team. The Ottawa Senators. Yeah, it does feel like Drury's playing GM mode, basically. GM mode's probably my favorite player on the Rangers. Watching him play and develop in real time was cool. Now, see, that's why I don't like to rule out some of these teams, because, man, you can have those young players step in and just be like, holy shit, who's this guy? Which is the fun part of sports. For the Sens, obviously, the big move was the Brady Tkachuk trade, but I do think they landed on their feet pretty well in terms of getting William Eklund. They also kept Jordan Spence, 4 years, $5 million. I don't hate it. Kept Nick Cousins around, bottom six, sure. Then today, after acquiring Sam Urson, who was very bad last year in Philly, 2 years, $2.2 million. Okay. Then guys like Tomasino, Blais, I mean, people that can fill out a lineup. Christian Kyrou could definitely end up playing for them next year. And then in terms of trades, like, I know the other one that people are like, man, I don't know about this, is Andre Burakovsky. You know, and just like, can he kind of recapture what he was? $5.3 million left in cap space. No major RFAs to sign with with respect to Levi Merrilainen, who was not very good last year. I think they landed on their feet pretty well from losing Brady Tkachuk, right? Like, if you're going to lose Brady Tkachuk, getting Eklund as a replacement, that's not bad. Obviously, the big question is, what are you going to get from Burakovsky? Because, man, if he's making $5.5 million in the bottom six, that's a bit rough. Claude Giroux also is not currently signed there, obviously. Did Claude Giroux sign somewhere today? I don't think he did, from what I saw, unless I missed that. So maybe he'll go back. You know, top four is pretty good. But I don't know, man. That goaltending scares me. And I love Linus Ullmark. I'm a Linus Ullmark truther. But if he is, in fact, actually bad, your backup is Sam Urson. Or maybe Levi Merrilainen. I don't know, man. With how strong the rest of that division is and the conference is, there's some concerns for the Sens. I'd be shocked if they're trash. But I don't know for sure how good they'll be. But I don't hate the roster or anything. It's just, again, as I've mentioned repeatedly, it's a league of parity. So there aren't typically too many teams that are just outright dreadful. There's a lot of middle ground now. Who wins the Larkin sweepstakes? I mean, if the frickin' Werenski thing is anything to go off of, he's just going to frickin' stay in Detroit after all of this. And it's going to be boring and annoying. That's my thought. Speaking of boring and annoying, no, I'm kidding. But the Philadelphia Flyers re-signed Carl Grundstrom 1-1, sure. Gave Dan Vladar that big contract, 5 by 5.5. Tyson Forster, they make the big investment on him, 8 years, $7.1 million. Noel Acciari, 2 by 2.8. Good for Noel Acciari, still getting that much money. Danila Klimovich, Zach Aston Reese, much to Jay Fresh's chagrin. Cam Dineen and Jack Studnicka continues to bounce around the league. In terms of trades, Obviously, they had made the big deal with the Sharks prior to the draft and traded away Garnet Hathaway previously. Philadelphia has almost $30 million in cap space. They are currently under the cap floor by $2 million, which is kind of crazy. They have Trevor Zegras, Nikita Grabenkin to sign, as well as Jamie Drysdale. So, a good chunk of that money will go. You look at their roster as it's shaping up right now, I don't hate it at all. I do wonder if Claude Giroux would return. I do wonder. But, because here's the thing about Philly, right? Like, I'm sorry, Christian Dvorak, #1 center, that doesn't sound right. Maybe he'll learn it, but, the big question for me about Philly is the coach. It's the coach. And if you have a coach that wants to play that defensive style, are you going to get the most out of Michkov, out of Martone, out of Denver Barkey, Like, this isn't a team. It's like the Flyers deal with what Bruins fans deal with as well. Big bad Bruins, Broad Street bullies, and that is not a Broad Street bullies roster. And I'm not saying whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, but it feels like the coach they have fits a Broad Street bullies theme a lot better than this, which screams good young skill. Tippett, Martone, Michkov, Zegras, right? Defensively, Risto didn't move. I don't completely hate their defense core, but it's not one of the best in the league. And then Vladar and Joseph Wall. Not bad. Both have maybe some consistency issues. Wall has some injury concerns as well in his history. So, I don't hate what they're doing. I just wonder if Tockett's the guy long-term or if it'll be a styles clash, because you, as the Flyers, cannot afford to botch the development of Michkov and Martone. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Those two are so promising, especially what Porter Martone was able to do once he made the team. Holy shit. Don't waste those young talented guys. Don't do it. That would be very sad for Philly. Very, very sad. Just in general, don't waste them. If you're going to waste them, trade them somewhere else first, please. The Pittsburgh Penguins actually spent some money today, which some people might have missed. Declan Carlisle, former member of the Lightning, 2 years, 1.5. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, 2 years, $4 million. Atlee Calvert signs his ELC, and Andrei Kuzmenko, 1 year, $5 million, which is kind of nuts. Friend of the channel, Calvert. Is he? What did I miss? What did I miss? And then Pittsburgh, in terms of trades, I forget his username. Oh, shit, you're right, aren't you? You're right. Now that I kind of, this does sound kind of familiar. We'll have to remember what that username was, actually. Well, there you go. Friend of the channel, Atlee Calvert. That's weird. If we get a proof of username, I'm buying a jersey. Let's go. Nick Robertson gets traded to Pittsburgh for a 4th-round pick. So finally, something happens with Nick Robertson. Between getting a chance or getting traded, whatever else needed to happen, something had to happen. He'll get a chance in Pittsburgh. No surprise Kyle Dubas went for him. This is one, though, that people are like, Kyle, what's going on here, buddy? And that's Parker Wotherspoon for Caden Korczak, with some salary retained on Parker Wotherspoon, which is an interesting one, because it's like he was on the Bruins and he did okay, but then for the Penguins, he was pretty good. Just like we mentioned with Ryan Shea, he was pretty fucking good for the Penguins. And for Vegas to get him, it's like, okay. It's just kind of surprising that, they'd be willing to do that. However, Then you look at like what a Caden Korshak looks like, who wasn't given too much of a chance by Vegas, especially in the playoffs. But, and again, you got to keep in mind, like depth time on ice, stuff like that. He'll be given more of a chance to shine in Pittsburgh. We'll see. We'll see. Right? Like, this is obviously what you're banking on for the Penguins. You got to hope that this is legit. But there's no guarantee that as good as this looks, that that's how he's actually going to play once he gets more ice time. Right? It's been a limited sample size. It's a big gamble. But he did just sign a deal. It's the first year of a 1-year deal, 3.25. They also did the swap, Jack St. Ivany for David Gustafsson. So, I mean, Kyle Dubas has been busy. The Penguins still have $25 million in cap space, man. And this is what we have to get used to because the cap is still going to go up over the next couple of years. It's not stopping. So you look at the Penguins, Nick Robertson, Yegor Chinnikov, Hendrix Lapierre need to be signed. Archer Sheloffs needs to be signed. So it's like, that cap space is going to dwindle a bit. But, I look at that team. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I would imagine the hope is by the beginning of the year or maybe to midway through the year, Ben Kindle would actually be the 2C. But, like, pairing Robertson and Kuzmenko together on the third line for extra offense, I think could work well or be a disaster. And then defensively, that's probably, it's defensive issues and goaltending, right? Gerard Carlson, especially a 36-year-old Erik Karlsson, Letang's 39. Like, Carlisle could be good value for money. TVR, Korczak, they're still paying Ryan Graves $4.5 million. So, like, offensively, I like what they're building. But, man, the defense and the goaltending. Like, Murashov's very promising. But there's a lot of questions for the Pittsburgh Penguins. A lot. So I'm intrigued to see what they do financially because it does scream like, are you trusting that defense? And is that the right move if you do? Because they probably do have to trust that defense. I mean, you're paying these 7 guys listed here, NHL level money. So we'll see. It's a kind of a thumbs in the middle for the Penguins for me. Just because it's like, okay, do I think they're better? Yes. Are they good enough? We'll see. But I think, from my perspective, it's like, man, Crosby. Like, I can't doubt him. I can't doubt him. What's the cap floor at? $76.9 million. The San Jose Sharks have been very busy. Whether it be giving Zach Ostapchuk 4 years, $2.35 million, Michael Kesselring 3 years, $4.5 million, and then today, Jacob Trouba, 4 years, $8.25 per. Look, the thought surrounding Mike Grier entering July 1st was, holy shit, what a GM. Because on paper, crushing the draft. That is not the only move today where you're just like, 4 years, $8.25 for a 32-year-old defenseman. Again, I know these charts aren't everything. But Jacob Trouba isn't quite the guy that the Rangers were desperate to get from the Winnipeg Jets back in the day. The Jacob Trouba, that is a head scratcher. Mason Marchment, 5 years, $6.75 million. Again, I will defer to a slightly analytical view. If you get the best of Mason Marchment, might not be bad. As mentioned here, though, Not a great skater. I don't hate that one as much. Maybe it'll age poorly, but I don't completely hate that one. Eric Comrie, 2 years, 1.15 mil, and then Andre Gassot, whose rights they acquired from the Bruins, signs his ELC. I think people would be saying, okay, Trouba, that's weird. Marchman, okay. But that's not the only weird deal the Sharks made. We already talked about it from the Oilers' perspective. They also acquired Darnell Nurse with no retention for Shakir Mukhamadullin and Zach Sharp. And, of course, also traded William Eklund to the Ottawa Senators. They still have $14 million left in cap space. Colin Graff needs to sign. He's been pretty good. He's really the only RFA left. Are the Sharks better? Yes. But the price it's paid to be better is interesting. You know, Stenberg, Celebrini, Smith, like that's the future. You do have, and Misa as well, you do have guys like Sherwood, Marchment, you know, that'll make sure that you're protecting the younger guys. Bagel, not yet. It's coming up, though. I wanted to talk hockey first. And then defensively, now look, they had Cagnoni and Dickinson signed heading into the draft. So they have 4 new defenders on this team. Greer's like Bergevin, good at drafting, good at trades, ruins everything in free agency. Kyle Dubas kind of has the same reputation. They needed to sign NHL caliber defenders. Or acquire NHL caliber defenders. Did they? You're right. Yeah, they did still have Orlov too. You're right. I misspoke. I am sorry. But to get, man, I don't know what to make of it because I wouldn't be surprised if they're a playoff team next year. But man, Nurse and Trouba. I mean, at least there's going to be some grit and some snarl to go along with the young skill. I don't mind the Kesselring pickup at all either. You know, I get the idea of like, oh, were they just trading up to hit the cap floor? They are better. They are going to be better than what they were last year. But do they have some people on contracts that they are going to probably wish at some point they did not have? Yes. So yes, is it a bit of a cap whale move from the Sharks? Yes. But obviously there's some sticker shock there. And it's not like 4th line sticker shock, you know, that we've kind of seen from other people being like, really, that guy that got that much money? That's legit, like, whoa, that's a lot to pay for that player type of sticker shock. Is Desharnais a new good Branson? We'll talk about it momentarily. We're almost there. The Seattle Kraken. Re-signed Bobby McMahon, obviously, 6 years, 5 3/4, not bad. Today, after acquiring Mackie Samoskevich, 3 years, just under 4 mil, that's not bad. 2 years, 1 1/4 for Curtis Douglas, that's not bad. In terms of trades, Samoskevich is it. I don't know what to make of this for Seattle either. $18.4 million left. They need to sign Jacob Melanson, who's, you know, respectfully not going to be all that pricey, I would imagine. So you look at the Seattle lineup, you have cap space, but the question is, who do you spend it on? Because the biggest complaint with Seattle is middle six, just middle six forwards everywhere. They're all over the place. They are lacking that star-level talent at forward. Beniers maybe could still be it. Maybe that'll be Berkeley Catton. Maybe it'll still somehow be Shane Wright. Like, I don't hate the team. But, yeah, they don't have that star talent. But at the same time, like, man, if you would have said when they were starting up that their young core of forwards, you know, under 25, Beniers, Kako, Samoskevich, Wright, Berkeley Catton, Yanni Neiman, like, that's not bad. I don't know. Like, I still, like, I'm not going to say Ron Francis was doing a good job. Definitely not going to say that. But at the same time, I do still think Seattle is suffering a little bit from the high standard that was set by Vegas. Right? Like, if this was Seattle and Vegas and how their expansion draft went and all the craziness surrounding that, if that didn't happen, I feel like most people would be like, yeah, no, that's pretty good for an expansion team. You know? And then, like, defensively as well, like, I don't hate that defense. Goaltending decor, like, obviously Grubauer is still overpaid, but he's entering the last year of his deal. Like, I don't hate it. And yeah, they showed ambition, right? They tried to get Jason Robertson. Robertson said, no, thank you. So it's like, okay, might they have issues with, like, most of the other teams in the league are having with, like, hey, come play here. No. Yeah, maybe they'll have to and are currently dealing with that. But in a general sense, like, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I think I probably have a more lenient approach. Like, I feel like people talk about Seattle as in, like, oh my God, they're in disaster territory. I don't see it that way. But yeah, they need this new leadership group to steer the ship in the right direction. And they also need some of their young players to develop. But again, like, they have all their picks. Like, they're in a good spot. They're just not a contender right now. I don't hate it. But like I said, maybe I'm just more lenient on them than others. Okay, and then we get to this one. I know some of you have been waiting for this because there's lenient towards Seattle. Am I going to be lenient towards St. Louis? Okay. Okay, let's talk about this, right? Because I'm sure there'll at least be, whether or not it's on Twitch or YouTube, there's going to be some people being like, hey, what about... Look, here's the thing. You already have your mind made up. Right? One way or another, you already have your mind made up in regards to the players that were named in the Hockey Canada trial, the sexual assault trial, right? You already have your mind made up. Regardless of what I say, regardless of what anybody in the chat says, you already have your mind made up. Either you're saying, well, they were acquitted, they're innocent, fuck you, woke lefties. You might have the opinion of, like, yeah, innocent or acquitted doesn't mean innocent. We have the fucking transcripts of what they were doing and what they were saying, and they're still fucking scumbags. And then there's the opinions in between. And then there's the idea of, like, oh, well, there's one mistake, so that ruined their life. And then it's like, my argument with Joel Quenneville is like, no, it shouldn't ruin your life, but fuck off. You don't deserve to be an NHL head coach anymore. So the bottom line is, again, like, you are already going to have your mind made up about these players. And I am not here to try and change your mind because personally, I don't give a shit how you feel because it doesn't change my opinion either way, nor am I going to try to necessarily influence anyone's opinion. I think talking about it and properly educating is nice so that people understand, that acquitted doesn't mean innocent. O.J. Simpson. Rest in peace, O.J. But yeah, people are still always are going to feel a certain way in regards to said players. Again, it is what it is. It is what it is. Dylan Dubé, of course, being one of those players, signing today with the St. Louis Blues for League Min. The Blues also signed Ross Johnston. Good for fucking Ross Johnston, by the way. 3 years, $2 million per. Holy shit, what an agent for Ross Johnston. And then Jonathan Berggren, who they acquired, they re-signed him as well. And then in terms of trades for the St. Louis Blues, picking up Brandon Carlo for 2/3, getting Mason McTavish for 2 firsts, but buying, but then selling with Jordan Kyrou. They're another one of those teams where it's like, okay, I'm still trying to understand what you're doing here. And then the Dylan Dubé signing happened. like I said, I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion. And for the most part, and here in a second, I'm just going to look at the team as the team is. But I feel like most people, if you've been around here for a long time, you'll probably know my thoughts on this. And it's like, I'm not saying like, hey, Dylan Dubé, your life should be ruined. You were acquitted. Cool. It should be a privilege to be a professional sports athlete. And unfortunately, in the NHL, it doesn't matter. If you can help a team win, if you can help them make money, you will always be given chances. It is the same way everywhere, though. It's not an exclusive NHL issue. Feel free to look at how many players are currently playing in the World Cup that have sexual assault allegations in their histories. Like, it's one of those things where it's kind of the reason why I wanted, one of the reasons why I burned out on doing the podcast is because I just didn't want to talk about this shit all the time because it's fucking exhausting. The bottom line is nothing is going to change. If fans of a sport speaking up about this could change it, it would have changed. Unfortunately, we still live in a society where, or at least in the fucking world, where it's like, we don't care. Mike Babcock's a head coach again. Joel Quenneville's a head coach again. Stan Bowman is in the NHL as the GM of the Edmonton Oilers. Dubé has just been signed by the Blues. Carter Hart's with, like, the bottom line is, it is what it is. And I fucking hate that attitude. But at the same time, if it was going to change, it would have changed by now. And it hasn't. So it's one of those things where it's just like, you know what their stance is. It's on you as an individual to say whether or not this league, this team, whatever, is still for me. And should fans be put in that situation? No, but we consistently are, and it is what it is. There you go. St. Louis Blues have $10 million in cap space right now. They need to re-sign Connor McMichael, which is probably going to be a little bit pricey, given that he was a part of the Kyrou trade without an extension. But not to mention the Blues also have Logan Mailloux. Anyway, oh, and they tried to sign Milan Lucic. And then the Buffalo Sabres actually did as a scout. There you go. I don't know what to make of the St. Louis Blues roster, though. Because, again, like, they kind of went back and forth between buying and selling. However, you look at that top six, with the exception of Buchnevich, everyone's 27 years old or younger. Like, they're taking some very promising steps towards retooling, if not outright rebuilding. I don't know if you can call it a rebuild, given that, like, Robert Thomas hasn't been traded, Buchnevich, Parayko is still there. And of course, Jordan Binnington is still there, and it doesn't look like Edmonton will be the landing spot for him, so I imagine it's one more year in St. Louis for the Blues and Jordan Binnington. Again, for me, kind of a bubble team. Are they better than what they were last year? Maybe overall, but obviously losing Kyrou hurts a lot. But again, the competition level is very, very high, so don't know if I'm banking on playoffs for them, but the team is better, and there you go. I've spent enough time talking about the St. Louis Blues. Devs, we did go over the Kings, and we did call them very old. I have been going in order here. You can scroll back, I think, on YouTube and Twitch already, but I will probably also upload this as its own thing and just mention that it's in alphabetical order. The Tampa Bay Lightning. Very busy today. Ilya Mikheyev, 4 years, just under $4 million. Wow. That feels like a lot, kind of. Again, sticker shock. Jeff VL, 5 years, $2.5 million. Good for him, man. The Bruins basically dumped him to the Ducks, and then, hey, here he is. He's bounced around a bit. Good for that guy. Olivier Rodrigue, Michael Callahan, Madge Sogard, and then the big one is John Carlson, 2 years, $8.5 million. Again, Carolina acquired him, but did not come to terms on a deal there. And by the way, to those like Curtis and PK on the YouTube side of things, Ty as well, I see you guys. I do want to move on, but I see you. John Carlson, like, that's a good deal. That's a good deal for John Carlson and big for Tampa to steal him away from an Eastern rival. They also, though, and this is where it's interesting, right? They got rid of Nick Paul for Dennis Hildeby, a third and a fourth, the same day that they signed Sogard and Rodrigue, who, yeah, will probably be AHL goalies. But interesting that they decided to move on from Nick Paul. I'll talk about it from the Toronto perspective soon. And then, of course, also moved Darren Radish's sign and trade, right, with Toronto. So, with Tampa, $3 million left in cap space, no major signings to make. Oh, I don't like you, puddle of dud. Get out of here. An old puddle of dud. Like, Tampa Bay. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me thrice, right? In terms of how I thought they'd be doing in the playoffs in recent years. The way they crashed and burned out of the playoffs this year finally has me doubting them moving forward, right? I still think, like, man, that top six is gross. Honestly, like, that forward core, that's a good fucking forward core. I like it on paper a lot. Defensively, I mean, the big problem here, Hedman, McDonough, Carlson, all at least 35 or older. I'd be shocked if Hildeby isn't the backup goalie because Jonas Johansson has just been so bad, respectfully. I look at this Tampa team, though, and I say, man, like, unless they suck in the regular season, if they make the playoffs, I'm going to look at that team and be like, man, they could do it. But it's been a couple years in a row now of me still thinking that way and being disappointed. Or maybe not disappointed, but being surprised by their lack of success. So, are they still a good team? Yes. Is that enough? I don't know, because it hasn't been. They've been a good team, and it hasn't been enough for the past couple years. But they do still have a tiny bit of money to work with, so maybe they're not done. Maybe they are. We'll see. I don't hate the way they're set up, though. It's just, you know, eventually I can only trust you so many times as, like, yeah, I still think they're legit. Maybe the most interesting team to talk about in the league right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Troy Stecher, 2 years, $135 million, good deal. And then today, Jack Roslovic, 2 years, $4 million, not bad. Sergei Bobrovsky, 3 years, $7 million at age 37. Excuse me? Colton Sissons, 2 years, $4.25 million. Another bit of sticker shock for a guy that's like bottom six, maybe middle six at best. But that's like one of those, like, oh, really? Wow, he's worth that much now? Teddy Bluger, 2 years, $2.5 million. Brandon Duhaime, 3 years, just over $2.5 million. And then Zach McEwen. Not to mention the trade, acquiring Nick Paul for Dennis Hildeby. So the Leafs getting rid of Joe Wall and Dennis Hildeby, who were goalies 2 and 3 on the depth chart last year. But they get Nick Paul. They traded Nick Robertson. Traded out Brandon Carlo. Flipped Sam Urson after acquiring Darren Radish. John Chaika's been very fucking busy, to the point where the Leafs at this exact moment in time are actually over the salary cap. Barely, and they'll have it be good to go for the start of the year. But man, they have done a lot. And they still have Emil Andre to sign. So, like, clearly they're not done. Baconator John. There you go. You look at this team right now. And obviously, too, like, we still don't know, like, are you going to trade Matthew Knies to try to, like, in general, but also, like, what if it's Werenski or whatever, and then the Blue Jackets like, oh, maybe he's not leaving. It's weird. What a weird fucking team the Toronto Maple Leafs are on paper. They're so weird. That's some franchise mode bottom six. Honestly, yes. Like, that is a very franchise mode bottom six. The big X factor is obviously Gavin McKenna, right? Which is crazy for them. Defensively, though, another player where it's like, he's going to get traded. No, he isn't. He's going to get traded. No, he isn't. Morgan Riley looks like he's staying. I just don't know what to make of them. Because, like, I look at the forwards and I'm like, okay. Like, I don't hate that bottom six. They're all very capable NHLers. You know, you're probably going to be relying on Easton Cowan in a big-time way. Definitely going to be relying on Gavin McKenna in a big-time way. The defense, I like quite a bit, if I'm being honest. I think keeping OEL was the wrong decision at the time, but it's working out for you in that you still have him. But yes, the defense is old. Darren Radish is the youngest guy at 30, unless Emil Andre subs in full-time. And then your goaltending is Bobrovsky and Stolars, which is very surprising. They really have fuck all for defensive prospects. I don't know if I'd say that. Oh, and not to mention Max Domi is there as well. So you can really kind of factor him in there. Hopefully not at center. Hopefully the Leafs finally learn their fucking lesson there. But, you know, if you look at the... We go back to the overview for the Leafs. Is that what I wanted? Team info? Not team info. Roster breakdown. Yeah, if you look at the Leafs, like, defensive prospects, like Vinny Borghese, we don't know yet, but, like, Ben Danford, very promising. At least on the team, I know nothing on the Marlies. Okay. But yeah, someone like Ben Danford, pretty promising. Vinny Borghese, relatively promising as well. Like, but they don't have that, like, bona fide, like, holy shit, this guy's going to be a stud of a defensive prospect. So, are they better than what they were last year? On paper, sure. But I don't even have the Bobrovsky clip. I wish I did. Actually, do I? I don't know if I do. I might have it on this screen. Hold on. Do I have the Bobrovsky clip still? I don't know if I do. He is back on the case, though. I don't think I have the Bobrovsky anymore. Damn. I'm sorry to have disappointed you. So, I'm intrigued by the Leafs because they shouldn't be as bad. They should not be as bad this year as they were last year. But also, it's the Leafs, and it's always a circus. The Utah Mammoth have also been very busy. They re-signed Kyler Yamamoto. They brought in Josh Waugh and signed him. Nick DeSimone. They traded for Sebastian Casa, who's still there, obviously. And then today signed Kevin Stenlund, 1 year under $3 million. Big acquisition of Anders Lee, 3 years, 5.4 at age 35. And then Zach Jones. And in terms of trades, Dursey and Badan, along with a third for Vinny Trocheck. Mentioned Joshua, mentioned Casa, and of course the JJ Peterka move. So Utah has been busy. About $4.5 million left in cap space. No RFAs to sign. So you look at that team, and obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Barrett Hayton, if the Devils are going to be able to take him via offer sheet. I don't know how much I like this team. I got to be honest. You know, top six, right? Like, top six. Okay, Anders Lee added, Lawson Krause. Like, if you're doing kind of the old school thing of, like, yep, Krause is the one that gets the puck to the other two guys, like, cool. Like, Michael Carcone's showed some, you know, offensive upside, certainly, even though he's 30, but it's like, we know he can put up points. Trocheck's a nice addition. The defense, I don't hate. I actually think their defense is pretty good. Also, they have, like, Brandon Tanev and Liam O'Brien in the system. Goaltending, Vejmelka's concerning. Not to go full Susan Collins, but Vejmelka's concerning. And then Sebastian Cossa, it's like, okay, what's he going to be? I don't know what to make of Utah. I don't know. They are one of those teams where it's like, again, bubble team. Could you make the playoffs? Sure. Could you actually be kind of bad because other teams are just that much better? Potentially. Yeah, I just don't know what to make of that team. Like, I don't think adding in Anders Lee is the worst move in the world. Like, you get a captain from a different team. It's a relatively young group. Like, I mean, again, it kind of depends on what happens with Hayton, but yeah, Brandon Tanev and Liam O'Brien there, so that's probably what you'll end up doing. Another one of those teams. I hate to be repetitive and to sound like a broken record, but it's kind of where it's at. The Vancouver. Oh, the Vancouver Canucks. My beloved Canucks, even though I'm not a Canucks fan. Re-signed Guillaume Brisebois. Brought in Paul Cotter, 1 year, over $2 million. Brought in Luke Shen, 1 year, $2.25 million. Akil Thomas, Trey Fix-Wolansky, and then... Look. I like Jamie Alexiak. I do. That is quite a bit of money for 33-year-old Jamie Alexiak. That is quite a bit. In terms of trades, they also sent Pettersson out for a first, and that's why I don't mind the Alexiak move. You get, a defenseman to replace Pettersson. Granted, it's about the same amount of money, but less term. You got a first-round pick back. Look, that's not awful. You brought in Brendan Gallagher for nothing. Moved on from Höglander. Okay. Whoa, that's a zoom in and a half. Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Anyway, you look at this Canucks roster, though. This is a reason why that Alexiak deal, it really isn't that big of a deal. Almost $18 million in cap space, man. They're above the floor. They have so much space. No RFAs to sign. Like, they can do what they want here. They can be okay. They could still go out and try to get an Anthony Mantha if they want to. But, for a team that's like, hey, we're not good. Let's stop pretending we're good. But I do think they're in an okay spot. Again, not a playoff team or anything, but it's like, okay, long term, what's it going to be with Pettersson? But like, they have some young pieces here. They got some guys that I think eventually they'll trade out. Defensively, again, they got some young guys. Bouillon, Wielander, the other Elias Pettersson, with some veterans around them, especially like Alexiak and Shen, who will stand up for the team if need be. Demko Lankinen, obviously Demko's injury concerns. We'll see what approach the Canucks take, but weaponizing that cap space for bad contracts, kind of like Arizona did a decade ago, probably wouldn't be the worst thing. Because, yeah, like, if there's there's been one team where I'm like, man, I would be stunned if you're a playoff team, it's got to be Vancouver, right? Crazier things have happened, but it's got to be Vancouver. But I think they've had a pretty decent offseason so far. As long as they don't sign like this brutal long-term contract and keep like some of the pricier contracts to a Jamie Alexiak 2-year deal, it's not that bad in that instance, I would say. The Vegas Golden Knights have been busy. Re-signed Carl Lindbaum. Gave Jeremy Lauzon 6 years, $4 million. Pricey for a guy that hits a ton, though. Tanner Lashinsky signs. They kept Rasmus Anderson. 7 years, $8.5 million. I would be shocked if he stays on Vegas for the length of that contract. Jonas Ronberg is back. Victor Olofsson signs. Dylan Coghlan's cheap. Billy Heinola, Joe Fleming, Jakob Demek. And then obviously in terms of trades, we talked about them moving on from Keegan Colasar, acquiring Parker Wotherspoon for Caden Korczak, moving Akira Schmid out. Like, they have been very, very busy. Very, very busy. And as of this moment, they are technically way over the salary cap at $7.8 million over. But, you know, they're going to do Vegas things, right? No RFAs to worry about, anything like that. Oh, okay, I do know what this song is. Sorry. What the hell is this? Obviously, the big thing for them is going to be LTIR. Like, if Pietrangelo does come back, you got to do some shit. If he doesn't come back, you're fine from a cap perspective, right? And you can't do the playoff thing anymore. Vegas is still very much a cup contender. They're still very much a cup contender with that top 6. I mean, again, you already know my opinion about certain players, but Brett Howden had a fucking breakout performance in the playoffs. It's still a very, very good team. It is still a very, very good team. I do wonder what's going to happen with Aiden Hill, because that is a lot of money for presumably a backup. So I'm not sure what to make. Shout out to Ender for the 84 months. Ender, we did just get done talking about the Blues and that whole thing. So you can scroll back if you want to. Again, I'm going to clip this, put it out in a video on its own. It's in alphabetical order, though, if it's easier to find the Blues that way. General thoughts, I think they're better, probably, maybe. Like, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, Vegas, again, they're still going to be competitive and as unlikable as ever, right? That's how that goes. That is how that goes. The Washington Capitals. The Washington Capitals, because we are almost there. We have almost made it. Can you believe it? We have almost made it. Give me uno momento here, though, really quickly. And we will be good to go. All right, yeah, we're good. Okay. So, Washington, also been pretty busy because we still don't know the status of Alex Ovechkin. But they signed Brodzinski and Justin Hall for dirt cheap. Then there was the Vinny Desharnais contract, which has been brought up quite a few times in chat tonight. And Boone Jenner Chevrolet coming soon to the DC area near you. They also signed Josh Dunn. So, Vinny Desharnais, pure defensive defenseman, right? Pure DFD, third pair, 4.2 for 4 years. I have to agree with J-Fresh here. Like, this is sticker shock. 4.2 for a third pair defenseman is the new, like, 2.5 mil, honestly. I don't hate that deal for Vinny Desharnais. I don't. I would in the old cap environment, but we're not in the old cap environment anymore. That's just not, it's not the same reality. It's not the way the price works anymore. Boone Jenner, 4 years, 5.75 mil. That one's maybe a little bit more pricey. That one's maybe a little bit more, and again, another kind of indication of what, like, a third liner to middle six guy is going to get paid nowadays. So I understand why there's sticker shock. I don't hate it. If I had to say one of them is more pricey than the other, I'd say it's Boone Jenner more than Vinny Desharnais. And then obviously, like, they moved out from Declan Chisholm too. They moved Hendrix Lapierre out. But the big moves for them, Alex Tuck and Jordan Kyrou. It definitely screams like, man, if Ovi decides to move on, we're protecting ourselves here. They have nobody left to sign, so there is certainly money to still bring Ovi back. But if they don't, that team in its current form isn't that bad at all. Not at all. I mean, like, that top 9, I don't really see a weak link in that top 9. I mean, yes, you're probably banking on Ryan Leonard and Protus Jr. there to really take, like, a big step up. But still, and then it's like you look at that defense as well. Okay, maybe not too crazy, right? Like, okay, Timothy Liljegren, second pair defender, is that the best bet? But goaltending with Logan Thompson, I think, looks good. Like, that's probably a playoff team, and you feel even more confident if Ovi comes back. I don't hate what Washington's done at all. How is Alex Tuch only 30? Good question. And again, 10 mil nowadays is like 7 to 8 mil a couple of years ago. So I really don't think it's a drastic overpay for Tuch either. I think Washington's done really, really well, given the circumstances. I mean, at least publicly, we don't know what Ovi's going to do. But I don't think their success is contingent upon Ovi staying. And that's a good spot to be in for that team. Last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets. Will they, won't they? Connor Hellebuck edition. Because, my God, how many freaking instances do we need to have in this league right now? But, in terms of, what's going on with Connor Hellebuck? Stuart Skinner, 2 years, $3 3/4 million. That might be an indication. They brought in Noah Gregor, and they also gave Mario Ferraro 3 years, $4 million, which, again, I don't hate. And then, of course, in terms of trades, brought in Jack St. Ivany. And that was that, right? Because obviously the Tanner Pearson deal happened a while ago. So the big question for them is still, what's the deal with Connor Hellebuck? Certainly looks like he'll be staying, but maybe not, brother. Like, we never know. Oh, sweet. I'm getting Blue Chew ads. I'm only 32. Leave me alone. Please. $10.6 million in cap space. They do have to sign Cole Perfetti. So that's kind of the big name there for the Jets. But you look at that roster. I don't hate the forward core. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's very contingent on, like, Velarde and Perfetti doing a lot. Niederreiter's still being really good. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Defensively, Morrison, DeMello, Sandberg, like, defensively, it's okay. It's not insane. Like, let's be honest, I think this team goes where Connor Hellebuck goes. If Connor Hellebuck's there, you can have some good faith that that team can push for the playoffs. If Connor Hellebuck gets traded, it's not looking as good. It's not looking as good. Again, I talked about Columbus and Seattle. Winnipeg is in that territory. They're better in that, you got Scheifele, you got Kyle Connor, you do have your Josh Morrisseys of the world. But man, if that goaltending goes. So I don't hate where the Jets are at right now, or at least I wouldn't if it wasn't for the Hellebuck conversation of, like, where the hell is he going to go? What the hell are they going to be? And that's the big question right now for them. So overall, that is just day one of free agency. And really quickly here, actually, now that I think about it, like, obviously there's, don't forget it's cold in Winnipeg, exactly. There are obviously some other players to worry about in terms of RFA status, perhaps. But the big question is UFAs right now. And when you talk about, and unfortunately the site just doesn't want to cooperate right now. When you talk about, there we go. Okay, it's weird, but still. When you talk about the biggest UFAs, right? You are talking about these players remaining, and I'm trying to see if I can find a different parameter, but I can't. It's fine. Obviously, Ovi, the thought is it's Washington or Russia, right? Anthony Mantha's still the big fish free agent forward. Talked about a couple of teams that could maybe land him. You got veterans like Patrick Kane, Claude Giroux, Marcus Johansson, although I believe Mojo was going back to Sweden. Vladimir Tarasenko, Kopitar's, of course, retired. Jamie Benn's still a free agent. Eli Tolvanen, Michael Bunting. Like, it's accentuating pieces at best. JVR, Evander Kane. And then defensively, you're looking at John Klingberg, Logan Stanley, Nick Blankenberg, Ben Hutton, Andrew Peak, Carson Soucy. Like, there's not a ton to really look forward to at this point. I feel like for a lot of teams right now, it's just, oh God, is my team going to be the one to give Anthony Mantha all that money? That's kind of what it feels like we're waiting for. And then the top goalies that are left are Cam Talbot, Connor Ingram, David Riddick, Jonathan Quick retired. So, I mean, there's really not much else there, right? There's really not much else there at all. So, I mean, maybe we'll have like a quick conversation when something happens with Mantha or something like that. But let's be honest, like, we normally talk about NHL free agency. Like, all right, after July 4th, we've kind of seen everything that we need to see. It kind of feels like after July 1st, we have seen basically everything that we need to see. But there we go. At least we have that documented, so when people ask, hey, what about this? You know where I can send you, at the very least. But I don't know. I'm intrigued, at least, now that we've kind of gone through this, right? Because I paid attention to chat during this time, but I am intrigued to know what people think about, like, oh, my optimism or pessimism about a team, right? Like, obviously, Crash hopped into chat being like, hey, my Kings suck. So I'm not sure how many Kings fans are feeling optimistic right now, but I feel like I made a case for a fair amount of teams in terms of positivity. What was the best deal of the day? All right, to cap this off, man, my best deal of the day and my worst deal of the day. Ooh. Best deal of the day might be Demida, honestly. Give me a second to apply a filter here on Puckpedia. So, by the way, the most expensive deal signed right now has been Bowen Byram. Best deal of the day. It probably is Demidov. If it's not Demidov, we're looking at Nico Hischier. And then outside of that, I mean, maybe like Victor Arvidsson, Losterinen is pretty nice. It's not the best deal of the day, but like Barrett Hayton for New Jersey is also a really shrewd move by Sonny Meta. Worst deal of the day. How can it not be Bowen Byram? And I hate to just keep shitting on Bowen Byram, but like, how can it not be Bowen Byram? It's just so much fucking money. He can make it, he can soften the blow, but how could it not be Bowen Byram? Jacob Trouba is very much in the conversation as well for worst deal of the day. And if someone wanted to say that Jacob Trouba is a worst signing, I would say that's totally fair, and I can't disagree with you. So yeah, best deal, I think it probably is Demidov. I like the Nico Hischier deal a lot, but Demidov for the Habs is just, that's a shrewd fucking move, man. And then worst, if it's not Byram, it probably is Jacob Trouba. And in terms of trades, best and worst of the day for July 1st. Worst conversation might be Will Borgen. Marcus Pettersson, I think Borgen's probably worse, even though Pettersson was a first rounder. Although it's maybe it's tough. Trocheck, whatever. Gotta be honest, worst trade is probably Nurse. Right? I don't really think anything can top that. Just because there was no retention at all. Honestly, good shout, Ripley, Freddie Anderson. That is up there. I think Nurse is probably worst trade. Oh man, Corpusalo, but we'll still go Darnell Nurse. Best trade. Initial hunch. I'm thinking like Nick Paul, Nick Robertson. Honestly, Maverick Bork for Nashville is also really good. So worst trade of the day will go Darnell Nurse. Best trade of the day, I really do like Nick Paul for the Leafs. Because the other trades that I like are dependent on younger players taking a step up on their new team. Whereas Nick Paul is a proven commodity, and I think a very good one at that. So, there we go. 2 hours almost. Good Lord. All right. Worst is Nurse. Sharks. Best is Nurse for the Oilers. That's fair. That is very, very fair, honestly. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, YouTube-wise, I think you can go back in the live feed. Same on Twitch, and in worst case, I'll upload that tomorrow. And again, it's in alphabetical order by the team, so it'll be easy to find in case you didn't see anything. So there is that. We did drop some frames there, but it looks like it's stabilized. Nope, it's dropping again. Okay. Man, NHL 19 really is cursed. Looking router. Router's still okay for the moment. See if this stabilizes out. I really like Kolasar for the Red Wings. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's just obviously for Detroit, it's shit or get off the pot with Larkin and figure out the rest of what the hell you need to do. You're getting censored by Gary Bettman. All right. Still haven't stabilized. Oh, man. Goodness. All right. Can we please stabilize here? Please. That would be lovely. To see this stabilize. All right. Or do you want to rebuild for the next game, and why is it the Red Wings? Who's the best and worst GM? Best Bill Zito, worst Kyle Davidson in Chicago. I don't know. Who would I want to rebuild right now? Come on, internet, stabilize for me, please. Honestly, the best rebuild might be Columbus. Like, from an NHL perspective, the best rebuild might actually be Columbus. Just because what the hell are they even doing, you know? Tear it down, scorched earth, start over. Does this make you feel better than I'm on both? Yes, it does. Boost my analytics on both platforms, damn it! The YouTube's fine might be a Twitch server thing. Interesting. I do want to wait a minute to see if the Twitch server kind of stabilizes, and then we'll do what we got to do. We got 1 or 2 seasons of this. We're not switching to anything else tonight. So we got a couple of last hurrahs for this team. Bettman is a vampire. Honestly, he might be. I mean, he is 74. You know. That is a Twitch server thing? Fair. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, if the Twitch side of things is annoying and unstable, it is a Twitch server thing, and I can't do anything about it. But the feed is up on the YouTube side as well at the same time. So you at least have a backup option and a preference. We have 1 to 2 seasons left of this nightmare. And then we are done. And that is because College Football 27 releases in about 10.5 hours. And I will be grinding the ever-loving hell out of that game and not really have time for too much else. So, there is that. Just make the move to YouTube full-time. Why? I can just stream on both. This team has been a nightmare. Do you have any regrets with the save? Yes. One move or non-move you wish you had back. All of them, and none of them at the same time. This has been a disaster in every sense of the word. We have made it to 4 Stanley Cup finals. We have lost all 4 times. But maybe, just maybe, this is the year. In terms of college football, you guys will find out what we'll be doing shortly. Can't spoil it now, can I? It won't be a team builder, though, because those team builder servers are going to get fucking obliterated like they always do by everyone trying to make their team at the same time. And I don't have any interest in dealing with that. Man, we are real short on scouts. Thank you, Endo, by the way. Stepping up, what a man. We are real short on scouts for this year. Fuck it. Who needs Europe, am I right? Who needs Europe? Team builder, Arizona Coyotes. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that. I don't think I'll be doing that, but boy, wouldn't that be interesting. All right, like I said, we're still going to worry about the scouting because we have a little bit to do anyway. This is the team for the 2028-2029 season. Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Brennan Othman. Cedric Garnett, Jeremy Wilmer, and Tim Stützle. Torsten Kronwall, Ethan Curtis, and Lou McGrath. Trey Aucoin, Andre Kochesek, and Simon Huet. It's a hell of a team offensively, and then defensively, we have Aino Ordio and Vyacheslav Denisov. Marko Makkonen and Quinn Hughes. Santiago Koliakovo and Jussi Santala. Your goaltenders, Nicholas Bannister and Simone Lowish. Justin Sordeef, Marcus Gretz as the scratches, and of course the AHL. You know, we still got some prospects, but we also have quite a bit of filler in the lineup still. Guys like Gregor, who have been on the team for years. Good on you for dumping Geet. We got rid of Geet a couple years ago, and that's honestly probably the biggest mistake we had of this entire deal was a franchise-level player who just did not want to develop at all. That certainly hurt us, and we've had other, key players where it's like, oh, cool, maybe we'll be okay, and then they just didn't do what we needed them to do in terms of developing, in terms of point production. Like, we got Matty Beniers because he was absolutely crushing it in Detroit. Comes here, he's pretty mid. At least we got some good goalies in the AHL here, too, so let's do this. I mean, I would like to think this is going to be the last season. For a good reason, and not not a bad reason. But let's be honest, this team is probably going to be this team. Maybe we'll stop around the deadline. But we'll see what's up, It's like 3 Finns on the blue line. Love my Finns. Love my Finns. Garnett, you're doing great, buddy. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. But yeah, we'll see what this team can do. Hopefully this is the year. Again, we have been to 4 of the last 7 Stanley Cup finals. Lost all 4 of them. It was 4 of the last 6 previously. This is a nightmare. Can't wait for college football to fuck you in a million finals. Said game does have that history as well. I tend to play a lot of games that seem to do that. Weird. Weird how that works, isn't it? Yeah, Twitch-wise, we seem to be okay again, thankfully. Whatever server issues were going on. We do look okay. All right. 11-4-1. That's not a bad way to start a season. Tucson actually looks pretty good for the first time in a while, too. But yeah, I mean, we have been through it. Like, we have been building these ungodly, absolute ungodly rosters. For better or worse, it just hasn't happened. We can get A deep playoff run, and we always seem to fall short. We always seem to fall short, but this is our final night. Our last push. And hopefully this is the year. And again, this team's looking good. Igor Chibrikov, we do not need. I mean, we kind of had a middling start, but we seem to be doing a little bit better. Just need that to continue up here. Just need that to continue. Player morale, what do we got? Timmy Stutzla, you're doing good. Keep doing better, Bish. Bish. A lot of AHL injuries. A lot of injuries. And Shadowstock are not wrong. Might as well make the process easier, right? Dealing with quite a few injuries at the NHL level, but the team is holding pretty solid at this point. Had back-to-back shutouts there. Pardon? Player morale again. Oh my god. Stutzla, shut up, man. And keep demanding that you do better. Let's see. Just best lines in Arizona. I mean, both our teams are looking really, really good here. But it's all about the playoffs. And can we win them? Boo. Alright. Yeah, it's just a matter of time at this rate. At this rate, it is just a matter of time. Crash, who knew, right? Yeah, I don't think we're making any changes with this team. Like, this roster should be good enough. We got 40 wins already. It's just win it or don't. That's what it comes down to. Win it or don't, gentlemen. We have been waiting for a very, very long time at this stage. Arnett, we can go best lines. All right, player morale. Brennan Othman, do better, bitch. He doesn't care about a demanding tone. Good to know. Come on, we're going to hit 50 wins here. I don't think we'll hit 60, but that's okay. I guess we should hit 50 wins unless we just start losing left and right. Which we might. All right, there we go. 50 wins. Not bad. Yeah, 50 wins is the ceiling. 54, 20, and 5. Tucson's definitely going to make the playoffs as well, which is great. Best record so far. Second best. We have beaten 60 wins. I think we got 62 a couple years ago. So not bad. Top team in the Western Conference. Top team in the NHL. Typically, when we win the President's Trophy, we make it all the way to the finals. And then we lose. Right. Connor McDavid led this team on 105 points. Brennan Othman on 103. Austin Matthews was also over a point per game. You had Timmy Stutzla looking great. Wilmer and Curtis. We had the high-end scoring. We had the depth scoring. 4 guys hitting at least 30 goals. Quinn Hughes still did great in terms of production. Like, dude, this team. And then a 935 for Bannister. 921 for Lowish. Oh, this team. Connor McDavid, Brennan Othman, top 2 point getters in the league. Alex Holtz not too far behind. Kaprizov now with the Islanders. Barzal. Joshua. Svitov had a really good season for the Islanders. Waugh actually led the team or the league in goals. Get Holtz, Pittis, Othman, Line. Okay. Defensively, Seth Jones, Bowen Byram. Same type of contract. Kale McCarr, Sergachev, Mendez, who we traded as per usual. McCarr led in goals. I see top scorer, and damn, we had a lot of these players at one point. Yep. Bannister led the league in wins. Hart with shutouts. Save percentage of Bannister should be winning the Vezina Trophy this year. Should. Aito Oguchi might win the Calder. My guess is it goes to Curtis because of plus minus. Fuck yeah. Way to go, Aito Oguchi. That is outstanding. We're here again. Post season. That's a real dude. It is. We draw the Kings of Los Angeles in the first round. Let's be honest. This team is about as good as it's going to be. I didn't know back in the day, yeah. Let's go best lines in the AHL for now. It's fine. What do the Kings look like? Is this the year? Dude, Oguchi was on the fucking Ducks top line. LA with Bort. Was he still 4'0"? I didn't look. 5'9". A real short king. Kings have Boris Dmitriev, Dylan Larkin, and Kyler Yamamoto. Kai Ramo, Jackson Molson, and Peyton Krebs. Dakota Hobson, Sasha Stutzla, and Doug Seguin. Good old Seguin. Good old Sagan. Seguin. Radek Pavelik, Marcus Davidson, and Austin Wagner. Defense, Kale Clegg, Eric Chernak, Cal Foote, and Vladimir Yakupov, Robin Burkhoff, and Will Butcher. Goaltender, Joseph Wall. Joe Verbetic behind him. Jordan Kyrou, Lucas Johansson, Kasperi Kapanen as the scratches. We won 15 more games than they did in the regular season, man. 15. This is nuts. Here we go. We've been waiting a long time. Game number 1. We lose Trey Acoin to injury, but we win 4-0. Game 2. We win 2-0. Game 3. 6-2 win. Game 4. We have swept Los Angeles, allowing just 2 goals in 4 games. That is probably the biggest ass whooping we have put down on a team in this entire run through. That was ridiculous. Wilmer, Stutzla, Matthews, Othman, all at least a point per game. Acoin and Cronwall went without points, but Acoin only played 1 game. Santala Ordio went without points. Bannister with a .980 save percentage and a .5 goals against average, stopping 100 of 102 shots. Outrageous. Outrageous. Garnett's such a disappointment. I don't disagree. He has been a disappointment indeed. But watch him allow 6 in a game in the next round. 100%. 100% that'll happen. Is that the best goalie round ever? I think it's the best I've ever seen, yeah. I think so. Bubba, by the way, if you just search 2K24 on Spotify, you'll find my playlist. I just dump music into it all the time, so. Let's see. Second round. Fuck. It's our old friends, the Vancouver Canucks. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Sergachev, I should activate that. I don't know. The Zone versus the Couv. Zion Niebeck, Elias Pettersson, and Brock Besser. Matty Beniers, Ludwig Persson, Kyle Connor. Kalle Lilia, Jacob Perreault, Alex Tuck, Connor Brown, Maverick Bork, and Dan Gorin. There are so many former Coyotes on that roster. The defense, Oli Juolevi and Tyler Setaguchi. Cody Ceci and Caleb Jones, Nicholas Tarnstrom, and Jet Wu. Goaltenders, Thatcher Demko and Olaf Lindbaum. Nino Niederreiter is the only scratch. This is a heavyweight tilt. Look at those ratings. Game 1. 3-2 win. Game 2. 3-2 loss. AHL team advancing in the playoffs as well. They beat Ontario. Now they play Stockton. Game 3. 5-4 loss. Fuck. Game 4. We are down 3-1 to the Vancouver Canucks. Again. We're just never going to win. We are just never going to win, man. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. God damn, man. I mean, Bannister has still been sick. I mean, has Simone even played in these playoffs? No. Let's turn it over to Lois. Let's go Hughes, Santala. Actually, let's go Hughes, Denisov, Ordio, Santala, Kolyakovo, Makinen. Garnett has 1 point. The third line has done nothing. Nor has the bottom 6. We're going to swap a coin in Garnett. And we'll see if that helps. Game 5. We need to win. First period, 1-1. McDavid and Setaguchi. Second period, still 1-1. Matthews makes it 2-1. Stützle, 3-1. Matthews, 4-1. Othman, 5-1. Final score, 5-2. Arizona lives to see another day. Still alive for the moment. Still alive for now. Kolyakovo, I demand you get better. 4 in the third will usually do it. Usually. We'll put old Lois back in there. Game number 6. We gotta win. We gotta win. First period. 2-1 Vancouver, Perreault, and Beniers. Matthews gets our goal. Second period, we're up 3-2. Hughes and Curtis. Come on. Persson ties it 3-3. 3 goals on 22 shots for Vancouver. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. It's all we got.
It's been a tremendous bit of hockey so far, and more to come.
We score next. We force game 7. If the Canucks score, series over. As Beniers takes a hit from Koliakovo. Feeds McDavid. Dumps it around for Matthews, who can't get there. Persson to Kyle Connor. Not Kyle Connor. Was it Kyle Connor? I don't remember. God, he almost scored. Hakkinen for Matthews. Brennan Othman loses it. Persson is tripped.
Gains the zone. Goalie to the bench on the delayed call. Extra man is out. Moving it to Benoit. Chip to Connor. And now we'll get the penalty call. The Coyotes get a 2-minute penalty for tripping.
Even if we survive this, not good.
A critical face-off.
Working on this power play set extensively at practice over the last couple of days. They haven't been really successful, but they cash in here. That's a great payoff for all the work they put in. Tournaments are fun, especially when they get to loser goes home, winner moves on. We are at that point. Don't miss our next one. For Eddie Olczyk and Ray Ferraro, Mike Emmerich saying so long for now.
Holy shit. We lost again. We have lost again. At least didn't have to wait until the finals to get beaten. I guess that's the bright side of it, right? Man. Matthews, Wilmer, Stützle. I mean, look at the depth scoring. It disappeared again. That's what happens every postseason. The depth scoring just dies. Every single time. Third and fourth line. Even though the third line was set up to be more skillful this time, like Curtis, we told him, hey, still be a sniper. Every single time. Not to mention Garnett in the top 6 had 1 point in 10 games. Unreal. Unreal. Unfortunately, Bannister really slipped up in that series. We just couldn't stop a puck in that series. That really sucks. No matter what we do with this team, we just cannot seem to win. No matter what we do. Guys, morale's on. I have to play within someone's role. Otherwise, they're going to get pissed and their overall is going to plummet. The Vancouver Canucks did go on to win the Stanley Cup. So that's not bad if you want to win Kepper Bobrovsky. Wouldn't hurt. Vancouver ends up winning the Cup over Tampa in 6 games. Connor McDavid wins another Art Ross trophy and another Hart trophy. Norris went to Bowen Byram. There you go, Hawks fans. Calder did go to Ida Waguchi. Damn. Conn Smythe to Brock Besser. The Vezina to Bannister. The Selke to Connor McDavid. Ted Lindsay to McDavid. Rocket Richard to Joshua. AHL, Jake Lesishin scored the most points and was league MVP. Troy Stetcher was top defenseman. Georgiev top goaltender. And that is indeed the second time Beniers has won a cup. Right. We'll see how certain players have developed, but damn, man. Damn. All right. Man. Okay. Well, we got time. At least one more season. We have the 6th overall pick, the 9th overall pick, and the 12th overall selection. Is it worth building through the draft this year? Maybe. Our scouts really struggled. Then again, we were short on scouts, so. Phil Kessel is gone. Jamie Benn, Vladimir Tarasenko, Couturier, Mark Stone. Flying, what's going on? I heard you have still been working some wonders on some out of the park lately. Klingberg, Ghost Bear, Falk, Ellis, Pareko, Ranta, Riddick, Kemper. At least Auntie Ranta can't hurt me anymore. I don't know what we're going to do here. Do the Habs want to trade the 1st overall pick? No, they don't. Do the Rangers want to trade the 2nd overall pick? No, they don't. Do the Penguins want to trade the 3rd overall pick? No, they don't. Okay, so presumably that's not going to be a factor at all. There's really going to be nothing we can do at the draft in terms of trades right now, I would think. Are there any teams out there with interesting prospects or players they would like to get rid of? We are going back to this strategy, which at least led us to 4 championship rounds. I mean, 3 at least. And we'll take it from there. Matthew Savoie. Yeah. I don't really think he's worth it for that value, though. Kyrou is very pissed with where he is at for the Kings, but think we're good as well. Every time we go out and get already established talent, they come here and then they shit the bed. So maybe we just go back to developing and making the best of that and just being the prospect factory. A lot of picks. Let's see what we can do. Fortunately, we just missed out on a couple of options. That's a shame. Let's see. Well, there might be another franchise goalie this year, so that's fun. We love a good franchise goalie, don't we? All right. For the medium sixes, we would need very high ratings to want to take them. Philippi Poulin's not bad, but he can't skate worth a shit. But maybe he's still worth it. It's also Pritchett, who might not be that bad. What about defenders? Potentially a high 4. What about the mediums? All right, Sergeyev is really good. Nikitin is really good. Nobody else to that level. Okay. So who do we have on our board here? Medium elite defender Marcus Volkov, Chara comparison. Then there's Sergeyev, Martins, Nikitin, Pritchett. A medium elite later on, and Kirill Kuleshov. And it drops a bit from there. So we definitely want to make sure we get the medium elite of the bunch. We'll take Marcus Volkov. 63 medium elite, but the value's still going to be worth it. Santala, McIntosh, we're fine. Now we go for either Sergeyev or Martens. We'll go for Sergeyev. 76 medium 4, not bad. And we got another pick here. This will be Mika Martens. High 6. It's okay, not amazing. Damn. C. Rhodes. When's our next pick after this? All right, we should be able to get that later medium elite. So it's either Mikhail Nikitin or Pritchett. Let's take Cameron Pritchett. 74 medium 6, not bad. Nikitin was a 71, so we made the right choice. And then we'll take medium elite Kirill Kuleshov. 62 medium elite, not bad. We actually have another first round pick. There's a bug on my wall. You can live for now. Anyway. Sorry, did my depression become evident that this team keeps losing? Let's see. When is our... Man, we still have more first-round picks after this. Holy shit. We will take Philippi Poulin. 68, medium 6. We will also go for low elite Clint Witt. Good old Clint Witt. 61 low elite. And our final first-round pick is going to be somebody. Winther Bomez. How many picks do we have outside the first round? We still have quite a few. Okay, at least one in each round after this. Right. Let's go for Bomez or Bouchard. Let's go for Bomez as the guarantee, and then we'll hope that Bouchard or Winther is still there. Take the Norwegian. 53 medium elite. It's pure trade value. Second round. And then we won't have another pick until the third round. It is either Bouchard or Winther, and we'll go for 3 out of 4 medium elite. Bernard Bouchard. There we go. Pork chop for the big pre-order edition thing. That's why. Ooh, Winther's still there. We'll take Winther as well. Oof. 3 out of 4 medium elite ends up being a low 4. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. We will take, hopefully, the franchise goaltender, Caden Jennings. That is the 4th franchise goalie we've drafted in this run. We will go for another goalie, Igor Zubov. 48 medium elite. These guys are so low overall. It's crazy. We will go for Kirill Sokolov. A lot of Russians this year. 49 overall. 6th round, Topi Lapalainen. 60 low elites. And then Victor Zbruev. Low 6. Cool. I mean, good draft for us. A lot of people. Prospect Factory will continue. Unfortunately, the only team that wins with said prospects are other teams. So that's not fun. We'll qualify Bannister. We'll qualify Lowish. Nobody else to sign. Quinn Hughes is a UFA. $12 million. Go away. Let's sign Kabanov to his ELC. Let's sign Nakamura to his ELC. Tanaka gets the qualifying offer. Gretz is gone. Walser signs his ELC. Hirsch is gone, but Sid is here. Sid, thank you very much for the raid, good sir. How was the stream tonight? Am I going to re-sign Brennan Othman? I mean, I probably should, but it's not like we can fucking win anything with him. Christ. Sid, what were you up to tonight, dude? Let's see. Dead by Daylight. Fair enough. Fair enough. The game that will not die. I need a short nap. Fair enough. I respect it, and I thank you for it. Oh, we are just continuing to somehow not win championships. It's genuinely impressive how bad we constantly are. Let's qualify Cronwall. Get rid of Sordiv. Qualify Halak. Qualify Alexiev. Get rid of Goldobin. And then centers. Qualify Curtis. Wilmer would have to be signed. Tebow gets his ELC. Kerfoot is gone. So these UFAs. Othman, Stutzla, Wilmer. Obviously some very high value options, but we can't win with them anyway. Yeah, screw it. Get rid of them. Whatever. Whatever. We brought them in to be difference makers. They haven't been able to do it. Screw it. Go away. Go away. We'll find real winners. Remember when you lucked into back-to-back cups in NHL 16 with the Islanders to start? Vaguely. I vaguely recall that. Ever so vaguely. Well, we got 4 scouts left. Anybody with an A we need to try to bring in. So this is going to take 6 years. You know, it's only happening because me and Bagel wanted to see it happen. That's true. And I hope Bagel has gotten his theoretical money's worth, given this is exactly what we knew would happen. This franchise is unfortunately cursed. And the only way to end the curse, I still think, is to probably bury my Howler bobblehead in my backyard. Was it the 500k redeem? Yes. It sure was. It sure was. I could double up on it. Please don't. At least not for now. I almost burned my house down cooking bacon. Ty, remind me not to go to dinner at your house. All right, free agency. RFA goalies are both ours. UFAs. There's a franchise UFA goalie who was undrafted. Jacques Dubois. Can I cash in a point redeem for ending this page? Not a bad shout. How many goalies do we have signed? We might get a free franchise goalie here. We got room for what? Actually, he would be the last one we have room for. So, defensively, any interesting RFAs? Not really. Yeah, those guys are all 25. UFAs, medium elite Hadar. I mean, he's 25. He might still have some value. We'll try. And there's low elite Bolig, who might also have some value. Medium 4, Luke Middlestat. We don't need him. Obviously, Quinn Hughes is out there, but we couldn't win with them. It's not his fault. He was always good, but we still couldn't win. And RFAs, all of those dudes are ours, basically, except for Vorobiev. Josh Waz, a UFA. Othman, Byfield, Corpon. 3 out of 4 of those guys we've had on our team at some point. So, let's send ELC offers out to these low elites. And we will get back to our roots of developing prospects for other teams. But if you're going to take them from us, qualifying offers. I want 4 first-round picks, ideally. That's my game plan now. That is my game plan. The night is still young. We got time for a couple more seasons if I can mentally handle it. So, you know, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. And then NHL 19 gets put to bed, hopefully for a very, 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 very long time. This has gone so poorly, we're rebuilding. Well, the good thing is we should still be a good team next year because we do still have plenty of prospects that are just getting signed to their ELCs that have super high ratings. I would be shocked if somehow, even if I don't make major trades, if this team is bad enough to not be a playoff team. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get an offer sheet for one of our big goalies. So, that's tough, and we probably will have to make a trade. Tanaka gets offer sheeted for a second rounder. We will let him go for that. That's fine. Yeah, he's just a dude. We'll take the second rounder. Thank you, Pittsburgh. First and a third for Ethan Curtis. He is a young medium elite. We will match that offer. Don't want to lose him just yet, even though he disappeared in the playoffs, but everybody did. If anything, we're the kings of building. Dude, the amount of teams that have had former players of mine on them that have won cups, I think it's been every year. Bare minimum of 3 players. It is insane. It is insane how good I am at consistently building up the entire team. Always and forever. It's just what we do. All right. Let's see. All right. So, goalie-wise, we still have our RFAs, Bannister and Langlois. They are both very, very good. But then we also have Battaglia and Martikainen. That's a lot of goalies to sort through. That's just a lot of players in general to sort through. So, let's see. So, Reginald Battaglia is an 83 overall medium franchise. Tommy Martikainen, 83 overall medium starter. In the system, Bannister is a 91 overall medium elite. And Langlois is an 89 overall medium franchise. That's nuts. And then Riley is almost ready to go, too. That is nuts. Defensively, let's see who we have left over. So on the right side, we have Denisov as a top 2. We have Aino Ordio still as a top 2. Stanislav Kabanov immediately top 4 defender. Case in point. Makinen is also here, which means he is probably gone. Jason Nakamura, also a top 4 defender. As is Jussi Santala. And then we have a top 6 defender in Kolyakovo. Nobody else there. What about RFAs or in the system? Then there is Leo Walser, also as a potential third pair defenseman. So we definitely got some defensive trades to work through. We need to see. Kolyakovo is an 81 overall low elite. Walser is an 80 overall medium 6. Okay. So we got Walser, who's probably going. Actually can't confirm that Walser is going. And then right-hand side, Kabanov, 88 overall, medium elite. Makinen is what he is. Santala is what he is. Okay, so we know a couple of the dudes that are getting moved out. We'll need a third pair right defenseman. That's not a big deal. Forwards. Who do we got? Who do we got? We have Trey Acoin. Can you play center? No, you cannot. We have Lou McGrath. Can you play center? Yes, you can. Lindbergh is not ready to go. Garnett is one of my least favorite players we've ever had. This guy is such a disappointment. And nobody else is ready. Left wing side, Austin Matthews. Obviously, top line player. Then we have Simone Huet. Third liner. Just shy of where I want a center to be. Cronwall, still a fourth liner, somehow. Sontag, depth defender, depth forward. Bodens isn't ready. Then there's Boudreau, who we're not going to sign yet. Halak's not ready. And then centers, Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid. Oh, let's see. All right. Oh, good. I have Drowning Pool yell in my ears right now. So, you know, in fairness, it does sum up the feeling about this team. Oh, goodness. All right, Connor McDavid is what he is. Ethan Curtis. Is Ethan Curtis a center? I think he was. Yeah, 81 faceoffs. Then there is Andre Krachasek. Can be a center. Tebow, depth forward. What about in the system? Okay. Well, we definitely have some holes to fill in this lineup. Definitely do. So if we are penciling in what we have right now, it is McDavid, Matthews, and somebody who we don't know yet. Second line, should we keep it, has Curtis and Garnett, who are both very annoying. But in theory, they might have to stay for now. Third line is Huey, McGrath, and a coin. And a fourth line of Cronwall, Krachasek, and somebody. All right. And then defensively, we need a third pair defender on the right side. And we got our list of names to trade. So, let's go shopping. We need a first line right wing. Because we did let go of our first line right wing. Of course, Alvin Geet is now up to a 94 overall. 65 points, though. So Matt Barzal, Gensel, Line, Marner, Glass, Eichel, Molson, Miele. Alex Holtz would probably be the best fit. We know what he can do from a goal-scoring perspective. If we don't go for the highest rated guy, the guy who puts up the most points is Holtz. Let's see if we can get him away from Washington. We kind of talked about it a couple of times. Can we get Alex Holtz? We'll try to use Bannister to get it done, because we have so many goalies. Safety net it. Take out that second rounder. Bannister for Holtz straight up. They said no. Where's Walser? What if we also use Walser? And we kind of know how this goes, right? We're going to get ripped off a little bit. Wow. Still no. Sheesh. We got a medium starter, a couple medium starter goalies. Were there any players I missed on in the last draft? Unsigned. Low 4 Winter. Is that enough? Man, they're killing me here. They are killing me here. I am getting obliterated. Low 6 Spruev. Last two guys, sweeten it just a touch. Oh, no, I still gotta sweeten it. God, the AI is brutal, man. On this difficulty, they take no prisoners. What about Sokolov, who's not that good? Jesus Christ, man. Jesus. They're murdering this. Are you doing this until you win a cup? I don't know if we're going that long, but we'll see. Langlois is going to stay. I wanted to use Martikainen, but he's not worth much. It's a big touch, yeah. Could use Makinen as well. Let's see here. Hold on, Bubba. I got you. I got you. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. Bannister and Makinen for Alex Holtz. And safety net. That's insane that they're not taking that deal. You guys are dumb. Take the deal. I'm going to have to pay so much, but whatever. We might as well do it. Jesus Christ. How are they not accepting this trade? You fuckers are insane. Oh my God. I'm getting fucking obliterated here by these guys. Jesus Christ. Seriously, this is crazy. Just go for somebody else. He's the best guy we can get, though. Martikainen doesn't have the value that I want. I'm getting this fucker. I don't even care. What about Bomez, who's not even that... He's something, but nothing crazy. I'm too stubborn to let this go. There's a big difference between Holtz and the second best guy. I mean, Holtz has been a consistent 50 goal scorer for the past 3 years, so yeah. It would be very, very nice to get him. I don't think they're budging, though. That's crazy, man. I am trying my damnedest to rip myself off here, and they don't care. What if we also use Zubov? And this is how we end up building other teams. Yeah, they're just not going to change their mind. Sometimes you can get them to change their mind, though. This time, they're not budging. We have definitely gotten people to change their mind before, but it ain't happening this time. Well, if we talk about futures, it would be one of these guys here. And the best one of the bunch is Molson from the LA Kings, Jackson Molson. Can we get him instead? Again, like, we got assets that gotta go. Like, we don't have enough space for everybody. Again, if we use Bannister, we use Martikainen in a different deal. All right, Bannister for Molson, 1-for-1, doesn't go. What if we throw in our first-round pick? Sweeten it just a touch. What if I give you my second-round pick? Well, we got it done much easier that time. It's not our initial target, but it'll do. Molson, congratulations. You get to play with McDavid and Matthews. Have fun. Please don't suck. Aside from that, we need the best second-line player we can get. Could go with a first-line player who's not that upset. But Kachuk, Patrick, Demers, the line, indeed. Bunch of medium elites. Goddamn. I mean, best of the bunch is Demers from the Sharks. Looks like a hell of a playmaker, which could be nice. Gilbert Demers. 91 and a 22. Yeah, maybe honestly getting Kachuk was maybe the one that got away. Let's try to get Demers from the Sharks. He was a lefty, right? No, he's a righty. That's fine. Does mean Garnett probably stays for now, but it's fine. Big fish to use here is Makinen. We also want to use Martikainen, Walser, and Santala. Those are the other big people to get rid of here. And who do they have that we can get for cheap? Ben DeHaan, that's not enough. Anybody else on an expiring deal, please? Go for Roussel. And that other guy, too. Moy. Cristiano Ronaldo. Mooey. I get your first rounder as well as the safety net. Can you give me a fifth rounder as a safety net? Shit. What if we use a shitty medium elite young goalie? It's always sweeten it just a touch. What if I retain 50% on Markku Makinen? This will be the second time we trade this guy. It never ends. This game doesn't even know what a touch means. It's insane. All right, if Zubov isn't enough, Inuyasha, good to see you. How are you? What if we use Bomez instead? All right, we'll take out Martikainen. We'll use that other goalie, and we'll make one more push. But if they don't take it, we won't get them to change their mind. Again, sometimes it does work, though. Let's use Zubov. Okay, we had to overpay a bit. But that was to be expected. It's not even really that much of an overpay, in my opinion. And that lands us Demers. Righty, 87 face-offs. All right, so it should be Curtis, Demers, Garnett if he stays. Which you might have to, just because these other trades are so difficult to pull off. Which means we need a third pair right defenseman and a fourth line right wing. We can find that from within. Although we are going to need a cap whale at this rate. Actually, you know what? In fairness, We can just kind of go for it. Give me a third pair right defender. Who's the best guy we can get? Walton on Columbus. Walton is the most promising. Or we could go for a veteran like Risto. But obviously Walton develops up, and then all of a sudden we have a different game plan. Columbus! Let's talk. I still have some people of value I could use. Actually, you know what? In fairness, we'll hold off. Who's the lowest value? 82. Looks like Gill? Or it's LeBlond. I guess you could even argue Risto on that contract. I don't want to go for Risto because he'll be very tough to move. He'll be very tough to move. Let's go for LeBlond, actually. A little bit easier to get. A little bit less value committed. We still got to get rid of Martikainen, who they want. Is that enough straight up? Yes, it is. And that's fine by me, honestly. Martikainen for LeBlond. Done deal. And we will find probably... I mean, maybe there is the one extra move to make. What's our roster issue? We don't have enough goalies. Gotta go sign that RFA in a minute. Okay, we need a fourth line right wing. Probably a cap whale. Or just to sign our dudes. All right, who's the best player we could get here overall-wise? Somehow there's a couple of 83s, including Shrimp Tempura. We had Mateo Tamora before. Or we could go for Ryan Hartman. Honestly, let's go for Ryan Hartman. Let's go for Ryan Hartman. Why not? Get a veteran in there. We don't have anybody else that we absolutely have to trade. So if we have any potentials I don't really like, or that we're not prioritizing, those can be the ones. I just remember, too, Garnett's an RFA. Now would be a good time to trade him. That would be a very good time to trade him. Toronto, you should take this deal in your sleep. That's insane. Really? I just don't want to give up that third-round pick. At least give me the lower picks. Jesus. Thank you. All right. Ryan Hartman's in on the fourth line. I really do want to get rid of Garnett. That guy's been shit. It can be a lefty or a righty. It doesn't matter. Who's the best guy we can use to get rid of Garnett? Matthew Tkachuk is the best lefty. He's on the last year of his deal and hasn't signed an extension. Nolan Patrick, Magnuson. Somehow this guy, Cameron Pittis, has all the value in the world as a low 6. Figure that out. We already brought in Demers. Of course, we had Darby. No, we never did get Darby. I mean, is he the missing piece? We tried to offer sheet him way back in the first offseason. The Hurricanes want to trade him. Is this the missing piece? 1-for-1 doesn't work. That's okay. 1-for-1 doesn't work. What if we add Sokolov? Matthew Tkachuk, welcome to the Coyotes. After all this time, we do, in fact, get Matthew Tkachuk. And this team is now cap compliant. Able to get him easily because Carolina wanted rid of him anyway. We still need to sign Lowish. And that'll mean we're fully cap compliant. I mean, it worked for the Florida Panthers getting Matthew Tkachuk. Maybe it'll work for us. You know, I mean, he's got ties, obviously. Hall of Fame daddy played for this team. So it'll be Battaglia and Lowish. Defense is set. I'll see if there's anybody. Yeah, Bolig's 25. Ben DeHaan's 26. We'll just call up Bolig to be that extra. Send down Lindbergh for the moment. Hartman actually dropped down to a depth forward somehow, but it's fine. Don't need to call up Sontag. Tebow can go down. The menus on 19 were quick. They were very fast. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, honestly. It's been very tough because I've still done some stuff on NHL 26 at the same time I've been doing this. Whoo, NHL 26 is tough because menu speeds are so much slower. It's crazy. It'll be McDavid, Matthews, Molson. The McMamo line. It'll be Kachuk, Curtis, Demers, Huey, McGrath, and a coin. Kronwall, Krachasek, Hartman. Defense, Ordio, Denisov, Nakamura, Kabanov, Kolyakovo, and LeBlond. Goaltenders, Loish and Battaglia. If that's not enough, I don't know what will be. We've said it time and time again. Time and time again. Whew. Goodness, goodness. Never send does the computer ever offer sheet your RFAs? All the time. All the time. All the time. In NHL 26, it does feel like a bit more of a rarity, but yeah, in this game, it happens a lot. I mean, we've had 2 different players hit with the 4 first-round pick offer sheet. That was Braden Point and a drafted, generated dude named Svitov. It's like Nakamura could be pretty good, man. His passing is crazy. His passing is crazy. LeBlanc DFD is still fine. Two-way, two-way. Let's see. Dice is fine. DFD, two-way, two-way. Enforcer, Kwong, congratulations. You're graduating up. It was in front of us the whole time. Just make the team as unlikable as possible. We don't win this year, then, man. That might be it. Yeah, I got to do the scouts, too. You're right. Fun. Love to edit the scouts. Speaking of things that take forever, both then and now, in frickin' NHL games. Let's see. Forwards. So McGrath is going to be... I'm not sure. What does a coin look like? Coin can definitely be a sniper. Can Huey be a playmaker? Roughly. All right, Lou McGrath. Center playmaker for you. Welcome in, Lewish. Coin. Maybe he was a sniper this year, buddy. We need some goals. Lord knows. I was really hoping we finally cracked the code by having the third line be a skill line last year, too. Didn't help at all. Ryan Hartman as a two-way. That's perfect. Austin Matthews is moving back to center. His face-offs have gone higher than Connor's, so... Apparently Matthews has a letter as well. Matthew Tkachuk. Leave you as a power forward. Huey, I believe you're going to be the power forward of the line because you're big. So that's fun. You're a big man. Go out there and fucking hit people. Get the puck to Tucker. Get the puck to Tuck. Kronwall, fourth line. Two-way is the deal for you. Definitely not a power forward at this point. Why the long face? Torsten. And then Halak is a depth player. Playmaker's fine. Then center is Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid. And we still have him as a playmaker. You could argue sniper. That freaking shooting category has, honestly. Connor, start shooting the puck, champ. We need you. Come on, England. Score some fucking goals. And then Molson. The playmaker for Molson. Didn't notice he had signed his extension already, but money is no issue. Demir's right-wing playmaker, definitely. And Curtis will be the sniper. All right. I don't even know. I don't think I'll even bother fixing up the AHL. They just can't succeed no matter what we do. And then Krachasek as a two-way, that's fine. Yeah, I won't even bother with the AHL this time. Just leave them on their own. Develop it. Granted, it's helped our development, but we're so close to the end of this. Like, who cares at this point? Although I say that, I don't know. Someone did just threaten to use their channel points to say go back to the save file, so what do I know? All right, we need US East. US East. Got the dub, got the O. And we got the SHL. Okay, in Soviet Russia, you scout. In Soviet Sweden, Bork illegal. I don't fucking know. God damn it. It's 3 in the morning. You think I know what's going on? And then we have none of the other, shit. We needed Finland. Svenskin, rest of world, there probably won't be anybody there. So we just need those 4 other, European nations. European nations. We need right and bottom right. This might be it, everybody. This might be it. All right. Why am I worried about the AHL? At least I'm like worried about the defenders. They're fine. They're fine. Leave it. This could be it, chat. This could be it. We are rapidly running out of time. This could very well be it. End of the line. Last stop. Cup or bust is what we're looking at here. 4 Stanley Cup Finals appearances. We have lost them all. The team, McDavid, Matthews, Molson, the McMamo line. Matthew Tkachuk, Ethan Curtis, and Gilbert Demers. Huey, McGrath, Aucoin, Hartman, Krachasek, Kronwall. Defense, Ordio Denisov, Nakamura Kabanov, Kolyakovo LeBlond even. Langlois, Battaglia in goal. Of course, the AHL still has some very, very talented people. We have never had so little AHL success in the history of any franchise mode I've ever done. Normally, we would, if we don't have the NHL success, we would at least have the AHL success. Instead, we've gotten nothing. Just one swift kick to the old cojones. Time and time again. This needs to be it. Please let this be it. I feel like, again, the deadline's not even going to matter. Our team is what it is and what it's going to be. What's it gonna be? What is it gonna be? Shit, I think I accidentally scratched audio. A coin. Demand more from you, you bitch. You demanded too much out of him. What a loser. What a loser. Oh, man. Man, please. I certainly don't need a trade for a goalie at all. All of these frickin' franchise-level goalies. What is the point of being able to just obliterate the AI in terms of roster management if you can never actually win after the fact, you know? Oh, man. Man, oh man, oh man. Gotta be it. This has gotta be it. Please. Please. The best lines in the NHL, it's fine. 13, now 14, 5, and 2. I mean, we're doing what we normally do. Start off a little bit slow. And then start putting the hammer down a bit more. Just go replace player. Alright. Not worried about Kwong. Here we go. Please let this pain end and let this franchise die in peace. Player morale, what's up? Audio. I demand you do better. I demand it. As your head coach, God coach. I demand it. Both teams are good. It's just playoff success, man. That's all we need. You actually make enough money doing streams? Yes, but primarily because I live in the middle of nowhere. That's as honest of an answer as I can give. If I lived in like Boston or something like that, I probably wouldn't make enough to be able to do this full time. But you know, I'll take being able to do this and living within my means as opposed to anything else, you know? So I'll call up Dice here. The best lines. 29, 39, and 3. That's not bad. Come on. Living within your means and your means. Yeah. The benefits to living in the woods in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of negatives, but there's quite a few positives if you look for them. We're going to get to the playoffs. 35, 11, and 3. We're going to get there. It's just what's going to happen once we're there. Same as usual. Matthews, shut up and do better. At least Austin Matthews is feeling cocky and confident again. So we got that going for us. Kolyakovo's healthy. We hit 40 wins. Please let this team be the right team. Whew. So you can afford a bunch of stuff to make it look successful. But we're still eating the same shit. I guess. I mean, it's not a matter of it not being successful. By definition, it is successful, but I guess it depends on your definition of success. As I always say, do I have a Lambo in the garage? No, but also I wouldn't want one. It would get rusted to shit based off of where I live. But if you're asking, like, hey, when gas prices skyrocket, does that affect you? Yeah, it does. All right, the stash being confident, it went so well for him in Toronto. Yeah, well, you know. I'd rather have a confident Austin Matthews than an unmotivated Austin Matthews, you know? You have a manly truck. No, actually, I don't. I actually don't. I'm good. I drive a 4-door, baby. Oh, baby. It's a yeep, has a house and a wife. He's living the American dream. Yeah, except she won't let me put up a white fence in the yard. She thinks that's going too far. She doesn't want a white fence. So I'm like, all right, well, there you go. Please tell me there's a missus. I mean, it sounds like you want me to tell you that there isn't, but there is. 55 win. Dude, this team might hit 60, or maybe not. The second I say that, we start losing. Big run of losses through the final month. Can we hit 60? Man, we really shit the bed down the stretch. Holy shit. 58 wins, though. This is our second best team ever. Another President's Trophy to show for it. Connor McDavid, 109 points. Matthews, 104. Molson, 103. Depth scoring. Second line wasn't as high, but bottom six was scoring at a higher rate. So we have that going for us. Defensively, we don't have a Quinn Hughes level defender anymore, but it wasn't doing us any good anyway. And then goaltending-wise, it was good. Will it be enough? McDavid, Matthews, and Molson were the top 3 scorers in the league, which is nuts. I don't need an answer to this. This is a joke. How depressingly close is the money you make from this to her salary as a teacher? Ah. USA, USA. That's my response. Depressingly close, yeah, is a good way to describe it. Oh, shit. Hunter Jones. Remember when we had him? I say that with several teachers in my family. Uh-huh. Teachers are horrifically underpaid, and I don't just say that because I would benefit from it, but I see what they go through and the reward they get for it, and it's absurd. Sorry. Well, that said, it's time. It's time, it's time. It's now or never. It's gotta be now or never. We draw the Vegas Golden Knights in the first round of the playoffs. Goalie-wise, Riley's now a backup. Dice needs to stay because we are without Nakamura. I think Dice was also a lefty. He was, so he's perfect. Forwards, do we have any injuries? No. So we will send down Halak for the AHL playoffs. And we'll send down Tebow. We'll go best lines. What do the Vegas Golden Knights look like? That is the question. Pittis, Glass, and Terrell, hello, Void, and you are not wrong. Patrick, Merkley, Puliarvi, Harrington, Ling, and Vickers, Ryan Strome, Jason Dickinson, Alex Wenberg. The defense, Mendez and Merkley, former defenders of ours. Busenius, Sinzinger, O'Rourke, and Colin Miller. Goaltender Larry Larmour. This is it, man. This is it. It's the last hope. Game 1, 3-1 loss. Game 2, 5-2 win. Game 3, 6-2 loss. Battaglia will be in for Game 4. I don't think I've ever bothered actually setting these up. Let's see if this helps. We want to be aggressive. We want to be aggressive. Power play. Oh, that's fine. Aggressive in the 3-on-3. Okay. Never know if it might do something. We're down 2-1. Game 4. 6-5 in overtime. We've tied it at 2 apiece. Both goalies have absolutely shit the bed so far in this series. We go with option 3. Riley. It's really going to hurt the AHL, but that is what it is. We can't worry about the AHL. Let's see if Riley can be the one to stop a goddamn puck. Game 5. We win 5-2. Looks like Riley's going to be back in. And we can send Bolig down to the AHL. At least they got a defender back. I haven't even seen what they're doing in the playoffs. Maybe if you start building up the AHL, the NHL team will actually win a cup. Game 6 to close out the series. We are going to Game 7. These haven't often ended well for us. When in doubt, we got to go with Langlois. Langlois. Lowish. Got to go with the best goalie possible. Game 7. First period. 1-1. Ling and Kachuk. Second period. 2-1. Austin Matthews. Third period of Game 7. Vickers ties the game. And here we go. These have not gone all that well for us. Yeah, we'll wear the red. It's distinguishing enough. This is it. This is it. If we lose, it's over. If we lose, it is over. Vegas dumps it in. Up ahead for Denisov. Denisov fires one on. It was going wide. Larmour makes the save.
The Coyotes lineup is dangerous, but it's more dangerous because he sits at the top of the goal-scoring chart. He gets a chance, it's in the net.
Matthews on the draw against Cody Glass. Wins it. Ordio save by Larmour.
That's a pass right to left. Now what? This is tiring labor. Defensive
Battling for the puck. Denisov is taken down. We're going to the power play if we need it. Connor McDavid drops back for Cronwall. Ordio for Molson. Ordio, and we played it around too much. Nolan Patrick, the former Coyote, heads to the box.
He's got great stick positioning. Stick is on the ice, but unfortunately takes the skates out from under.
One last risky attempt to get back in this game.
McGrath on the face-off. Wins it to Kabanov, over Matthews, scores! Oh, I had the goalie pulled. I knew what I was doing. We were winning it right there, goddammit. Or we were losing it. I wanted the 6-on-4 power play. Risky as fuck, but it worked. Because my presumption was they were going to dump the puck if they got it. It wouldn't carry up ice. Austin Matthews, the goal.
So what will be their philosophy now? Probably see it from this opening.
21 seconds.
Nice tip of the pass.
Nick Merkley to Ryan Merkley. Shot, save, and covered by Lowish.
Never satisfied, never take your foot off the gas pedal. He's got 2 goals now.
Empty net for Vegas.
The cage is vacant. Chance taking time. So
They win the draw.
in the next face-off.
Puljujarvi, saved by Lois.
Seconds of this Stanley Cup playoff game. One team will move on to round 2. The other is out. The goalie has left. A skater is on. An extra one to try to get a key goal near the end. Big face-off win here. Let's see what happens.
It's fine. Everything's fine. And the Coyotes are still alive. Holy.
A bitter end to a season that held such promise. There is nothing to do now but rest and heal and come back again in the fall.
And that is just the first round. Two goals for Matthews, including the series clinching power play tally. And you're not going to believe who we're playing in round 2. But what a first round for Matthews, Demers. We had better overall scoring across the board, which is probably what we need because one guy leading the way in terms of scoring wasn't working for us previously. Goaltending wise, it's Langlois leading the way here, which really sucks. But yeah, we need our goaltending to step up so badly. So badly. Round number 2. It is once again the Vancouver Canucks who have turned into our most notable foe. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they have. And they could very well end us right now. Niebeck, Pettersson, Besser, Connor, Beniers, Persson, who was leading the playoffs in scoring, Lilia, Kasper Simon-Tyval, and Carl Grundstrom, Brent Ryder, Lawrence Yasina, and Alex Tuck. Jesus Christ. The defense, Olli Levy, Tyler Setaguchi, Mark Plus, and Thomas Harley, Dylan DeMello, and Cody Ceci. Goaltender, Thatcher Demko, and no injuries. Game 1. 2-1 win. Game 2, Matthew Tkachuk suffers a concussion. We lose 3-0. Not ideal. We got to call somebody up to replace him. It's probably going to be Sontag. Tebow as a playmaker. Lindbergh as a sniper. Liam Lindbergh, congratulations. You are getting the call up, my good man, because we do not want a defenseman in Nakamura playing forward. I also don't think we want a coin to be the one getting the call up. Honestly, it can be Hue. Okay. And best lines in the AHL, pretty straightforward. 1-1 split. Game 3. 4-2 win. We're up 2-1. Defensively, I mean, Miles Dice has done well, but yeah, we're putting Nakamura back in. We are putting Nakamura back in. Game 4. We're tied at 2 apiece. Matthew Tkachuk is fully healed. So that'll be Lindbergh, Dice, and probably Riley back down. Sorry, fellas. It's got to happen. Down you go. Matthew Tkachuk is ready. Much like Bonesaw. Very important game 5. Is a 5-4 overtime loss. The Canucks have pushed us to the brink. Kolyakovo, Kabanov, Oreo, LeBlanc, Nakamura, Denisov. Forward-wise, a coin has been atrocious. Hartman hasn't been much better, but we'll make that switch. McGrath, dude, that third line has been getting fucking deleted. Oh my god. Cronwall hasn't been that good. Hue has been bad. But I guess we'll just make him the 4th line. Connor McDavid has 1 goal. Tkachuk, Matthews, Molson, McDavid. Centering Curtis and Demers. Desperation time. Game number 6. First period, 2-0 Canucks. Lilia and Pettersson. Second period, still 2-0 Canucks. Krachasek gets a goal back from center ice. 40 seconds into the period. 2-1 Vancouver. 3-1 Vancouver. I have 5 minutes. Not even. To try to score 2 goals.
So far, and more to come.
But it's looking like we're going to fall short again.
Taking that neutral zone face-off.
It is looking like we are going to fall short again.
Trying to go to Tkachuk. He's in on an onside play. On through the corner. Takes that pass from the other point. Shoots. That shot came from nowhere. He's locked in now. Great save.
I can't believe we're going to lose again, but we're going to. We are going to lose again. Connor McDavid, 1 goal.
A clutch win of the face-off there. Free puck off a defender. That Roadblock was set up.
I need a handedness switch for these guys, but it is what it is.
Pitching it to Pedersen. Takes it in from the neutral zone. Howitzer, and he missed it.
Shout out to the howitzer call.
That hard. I don't know if you have to lean into it that much.
All
You
right,
gotta
Curtis.
get it on the net to give yourself a chance.
Damn.
Handled with the stick. Shoots one. Nice save there. They're going to have to do better than that to beat him. Lets it go. And Rick Morbell's on that one.
Demko has no desire to surrender a goal right now.
I've seen a lot of great goaltending performances. I don't know that I've seen many better than this. Can't ask for much more than what we're seeing right here.
He has been spectacular in goal tonight. Absolutely, Ray. Thank you.
They win the draw. Let's see if it pays off. With no time whatsoever, he turned it aside.
A timely save. That is tremendously tremendous.
Pressure now. Benoit's looking to make a play from his own end towards center. Net open. Terrific opportunity, but it's off the mark.
And somehow Koliakovo didn't get that, and then McDavid loses it.
Net open.
What the fuck is going on?
Net empty. Score.
Somehow Koliakovo, he just ran himself into the boards, I guess. Intercepted with McDavid. Try to pass to the guy in the middle. It gets broken up back to this dude, who passes to the point. It's interrupted. It's blocked, goes wide, and then they just do that. This is the most cursed team I think I've ever used. The only thing left to do is to raise the soil that our home arena was built upon and salt the earth so nothing can come back from the dead. Sometimes dead is better, Coyotes fans. Sometimes dead is better.
The fans are standing and cheering. They know it takes 16 wins to get the Stanley Cup, and their team now has 8.
The game is lopsided, but we did need to enter one more thing on the penalty sheet, didn't we?
This series is over, and the winners move on.
Fans at home block will be celebrating tonight as their team wraps this series up.
Kai over.
Another great night of playoff hockey. We hope you liked it and will watch next time. For Eddie and Ray, Doc saying good night.
You failed me, Coyote. I'm not even going to call you by your actual name. You failed me. And now I'm going to go bury you in the yard. You are a curse upon this household, a plague to the sport. Sometimes dead is better. Holy crap, man. I have never been able to consistently build 50-plus win teams only to just never be able to win a cup. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. Can we play a little bit of TW? Damon, I would love to, but the problem is if I play it, I'm going to want to keep playing it, and I'm not really going to have time to do so because of college football. 3 straight years of losing to Vancouver. I believe so, yeah. I believe indeed that was 3 straight years. So, I am so sad right now. Oh my God. Seriously, never had a franchise that cursed. 4 cup final losses. Like, we made the playoffs like every single year just about for the past decade, and it just didn't matter. God damn it, Enda. He, in fact, keeps kicking me in the dick. Dude, like Matthews, McDavid, like, Jesus Christ. Look at this fucking team. And we lose in the second round in 6 games, dude. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts, man. Criminy. Criminy. Okay. So, here's what's going to happen from here. All right? Here's what's going to happen from here. What we are going to do is... I miss the days when we lost in the final. Yeah, right? Who'd have thought we would have missed that so much? What we are going to do is bid you a fond farewell for tonight. That way, I can do what I must do. I can go to bed sooner. And then I can hopefully be live tomorrow a bit earlier as we begin a brand new adventure. A college foosball 27 adventure. And I hope, because it certainly sounds like it, I hope this game does not disappoint in the way that 26 did. But from the sounds of it, we should be in a better spot. So that's good. For now, I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. And again, we will see what college football season brings to us in the very, very near future. Until then, I'm going to go cry myself to sleep after burying this bobblehead in the yard. And we'll see what happens from there. YouTube-wise, in the words of Jeff Probst, I got nothing for you. Head on out. Twitch-wise, let's go say hi to Baffle. Take care of yourselves, everybody. I'll see you back here tomorrow for some football. Football.